because we have junior freestyle finals just about to get underway, as I'm sure our viewers are aware, because they can hear the Chicago Bulls entrance song, which can only mean top wrestling action about to go down.
It's time. The spotlight is on. The stage is set, as they say. And we're going to get things started with 100 pounds. There's our matchups right there. Too many names to, too many accolades to recount as we look at these, but some of these are going to be extremely high quality. TJ Stewart and Brian Soldano, they've seen each other before. Those are top 10 guys. Dylan Fishback, Seth Shumate, a huge one there. Ben Kueter, saw his team rooting him on. He's in the Iowa baseball playoffs going on right now. He's here in Fargo trying to win a national championship. And Christian Carroll, another huge wrestler in physical stature and in accolades.
Yeah, those upperweight battles are going to be incredible. I am really excited about basically all the finals, but 113, Braden Davis, been a staple in the lightweights this year. He's wrestling Ben Aranda, who has really, really raised his stock in the last few weeks, months, and I think he is poised to potentially pull an upset. I'm really excited for 113.
Yeah, that's a number 4 versus number 11 in the recent rankings. Of course, Fargo jumbles up the rankings every year, and then you remove some seniors. But there's some guys, some weight classes, some of them that I just read out, are battling for a number 1 spot.
Absolutely. A couple grudge matches I'm looking forward to. Caleb Rachi, Jordan Williams at 145. Those guys have gone back and forth. Clash of styles, super exciting. And then at 160, Josh Barr and Aiden Riggins had a kind of a controversial match at the cadet trials. There were some calls that Barr's corner disagreed with, and so they're going to get their opportunity to re-wrestle that match here on a big stage in Fargo. So many matches that I'm really excited about, and man, this action is going to be getting kicked off before we know it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the wrestling to actually start. And then another weight class I want to point out, 132 pounds. If there's one thing FloWrestling knows about, it's bracket busters, and that's exactly what these two guys did. Emilio Ysaguirre Jr., Valiant Prep, came to wrestle today. Have a great squad. Ysaguirre beat Nick Bouzakis in the quarterfinals, busting up his he's a pound-for-pound number 1 ranked guy, busted up his chance at a Fargo championship. And Nasir Bailey, unranked, running through the bracket. There are no easy paths to the finals.
Yeah.
And so that is a classic bracket buster.
Yeah, Nasir Bailey, unranked, but don't get it twisted. This guy is every bit deserving of being in a Fargo final. He has been right there. He had, I believe, an overtime match with Jesse Mendez. He has, in the past, he has looked outstanding this weekend. And Emilio Ysaguirre is another guy who, you know, he beat Jordan Titus at Super 32, then went on, didn't place, had a really close match with Drake Ayala, but we've known for a while that Ysaguirre is right there, and now he's proven it. These two guys, like you said, bracket busters, but not surprisingly, when you really think about it and look at their accolades a little more holistically, I got to say something too about Emilio Ysaguirre.
I want you to say it.
He's part of that Valiant Prep program in Arizona. State of Arizona has 7 All-Americans here in Fargo on the men's side. Guess how many go to that Valiant Prep program?
Guess how many? I'm going to go with over half, at least 4.
All 7.
All 7.
All 7 Valiant Prep.
I was a little bit, I underestimated Valiant Preps.
It's more Valiant than you thought it was.
They are. They're the vanguard as well of Arizona wrestling. And you know who we haven't even mentioned yet, who's pound for pound number 9 is Drake Ayala.
Yes. He
came out. This is you mentioned the team race just there. Let's take a quick look, a quick peek, because the junior freestylers for Iowa came out to make some noise. 91 points right now, 112 for Illinois in first place. So Iowa not that far off, but we'll have to do the math. They have 4 in the finals. Illinois has 4. I think everything has to go right for Iowa and wrong for Illinois. But I think the larger point is Iowa's senior, the graduating seniors wanted to get it done. Ben Kueter, I mentioned, his baseball team is in the playoffs right now. His teammates are cheering him on. They're watching the stream. They're going to be watching his finals match and see how, if he can bring a national championship. That's what you do. That's what you do when you're a team. You root for your teammates, whether they're here or doing something big on the national stage. And a guy like Drake Ayala, he doesn't have anything else to prove. He's already committed. He's already done everything you can do. He could be getting ready for college, but he's here to help the rest of the Iowa team do the best they can.
Yeah, I mean, both Drake Ayala and Caleb Rachi came back as seniors. didn't need to. They could be both training in the Hawkeye room where they're going to go eventually, but no, they said, let's compete. They did it, junior duels, as you mentioned, and now they're trying to help that team. Iowa currently 4th place, but 4 in the finals, so that's pretty formidable. Illinois leading the team race, of course, with 4 finalists. They've also got 5 in the consolation that are still able to score points. So Illinois going to be a really tough team to beat. They are ahead of Pennsylvania by 14 points. Pennsylvania, though, with 9 All-Americans still to compete, so some definite points on the board available for them.
Yeah, we aren't going to see a Pennsylvanian in the finals. That just, that's the way things shake out, especially in a year like this that is so tough. So many ranked wrestlers. Plenty of All-Americans, though. Pennsylvania showing out. Let's run through the top 10 while we have a couple minutes as they're handing out awards.
Yeah, they got a stack of plaques up there. I think we're going to get through the top 10.
Yeah, I think so too. Number 1, Illinois, we just mentioned. 4 in the finals, 5 in the consies. Pennsylvania, 9 in the consies, 98 points. They're in second. They may get passed by some of the teams with more finalists. Wisconsin coming in at number 3. They have 1 finalist. Who's their finalist?
Wisconsin, I believe their finalist is at heavyweight.
Yes, it is. Yes, I watched that semifinal match. Ben Kawczynski.
Yep, there he is. Ben Kawczynski.
It's literally on the monitor in front of us. I'm looking through papers, but I'm old school that way.
Hey.
I like to feel the paper in my hands. It's not all touch screens and everything.
It's not. It's not all touch screens and TikToks for Spay.
I'm not on the TikTok. You can't find me there. Ben Kawczynski, Oak Creek, Wisconsin. He's unranked, but this is the type of tournament that may get you in the rankings. Although if he's a senior, obviously those guys are coming out. He will attend University of Wisconsin lacrosse. So going D3, there's a whole conference of D3 teams with wrestling teams, wrestling programs in Wisconsin. So that's a fun competitive division.
Sixth place teams, California, none in the finals, but they do have. You know what? My team score got switched over.
Oh, California's outside of the top 10. Wow, tough showing for junior California. They did better on the women's cadet. They won another title for I don't know how many years in a row.
So you just mentioned Wisconsin in 3rd, Iowa 4th. We talked about them. Michigan, your 5th place team, 4 in the finals for Michigan. Really strong showing.
Yeah, led, I think Casey Swiderski might be their highest ranked finalist. He is a future Cyclone. And I can't wait to see him in Kevin Dresser's room. Although I think he's got another year in high school, correct?
He does. I'm going to run through the remaining of the top 10 because we have our graphic off the stage, and I think we're getting closer to the end of the awards here. We've got, outside the top 5, we've got Indiana in 6th place, 3 in the finals, super impressive. Ohio is it's sitting in 7th. They have 2 in the finals, but their 2 finalists are going to compete against each other at 195 pounds. That's Fishback and Shumate. Minnesota in 8th place, 1 finalist for Minnesota. New Jersey in 9th, and Oklahoma in 10th. Both of those teams, 2 finalists. So going to be some shifting for sure in that team race, and that'll be fun to follow.
Iowa making sure that they get a champion by going Iowa on Iowa at 195. As you mentioned, Dylan Fishback.
Ohio.
But I said Iowa.
Yep.
Ohio and Iowa, they are too close sometimes
in my letters.
Pronunciation. Apologies to both states. But yeah, Ohio going to make sure that they're going to get a champion. Fishback and Shumate, you mentioned. They also had Venadia and McDaniel at, I think, maybe 182 in the cadet championship. So that's how you make sure that you come home with a stop sign for your state, is you just get both finalists.
You just corner the market. You know, also, since we're talking team races and we're talking elite high school wrestling, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that the UWW Cadet World Championships are going on right now. The United States had 4 in the finals earlier today. We brought home a gold and 3 silvers. We have Bo Bassett wrestling for gold tomorrow, along with 2 still alive on the backside. So possibility of 3 total medals tomorrow, 1 guaranteed. And Team USA sitting in 2nd place right now, behind Russia, as we have been most years, if not all years.
Russia literally sets the standard. They raise the bar, and our teams at all level are raising theirs to compete with them. But yeah, no shame there.
India's cadet team also really strong. They're just trailing the U.S. by 3 points, so need to be locked in tomorrow. But really impressive performance for Team USA. I think when we talked about it in the lead up, we thought, you know, 3 or 4 medals was probably a realistic number. 4 would be strong. And U.S. already with 5 medals guaranteed and a possibility of 7.
Going 4 for 4 yesterday in the semifinals, putting 4 in the finals. Meyer Shapiro from Maryland, the only one to win that gold, but still just impressive to medal at that stage. I'm very glad to have the Cadet World Championships back. It's been a while.
Me too. And now you're seeing on the screen the entrance. That means we're just about to get going with wrestling action. We're going to see wrestlers come out on the stage momentarily, I believe. I don't think we have any other presentations. I think, wait. I spoke too soon. We've got another presentation.
You're trying to deny some awards that these good people of USA Wrestling have earned. This is, what's cool about Fargo is it's not only the culmination of the season for for freestyle and Greco-Roman for our high school aged competitors across the nation. It's also a culmination of USA Wrestling season. So this is their chance to recognize people that have worked hard, for USA Wrestling, for the organization that does so much. They are the national governing body, and a lot of responsibilities fall to them. So they're having their opportunity here to recognize some of the people that have done so much.
As they should, and they've mentioned this. You've seen this on all the advertising, but the 50th year of Fargo, so there are even more awards than there typically would be, and
they missed the whole year of awards last year.
That's right. You got to double up.
It seemed incomprehensible to miss so many of the events that we did, but that's in the past. We look ahead now. We crown 15 champions?
We crown 15 champions. Today we'll crown 15 champions, that's right.
And the house PA system's working great. I don't know if anybody even can hear us at this moment, but
they cranked it up. That can only mean that wrestling is happening, or that the next award is a really good one.
Let's heed the words of the king, Elvis. A little less conversation, a little more action.
A little more action on the mat. You and I will continue our conversation if that's all right by you.
Let's just stop conversing and let the action speak for itself.
Well, then we might get fired if we do that, but we'll do a conversation and action. How about that combo?
All right, I was exaggerating. He just said a little less conversation. He didn't say stop it completely.
All right, so coming to the mat right now in the red, Nate Smith of Indiana. He's from Indianapolis. He's going to be a senior at Southport High School, and you see him taking the mat. His opponent you're going to see soon, Zane Donley from Afton, Oklahoma. Nasty leg lace. He ended his semifinal early with that leg lace. He's going to be a sophomore at Veneta High School. And here he is on the big stage.
Yeah, both wrestlers unranked, but not surprising. 100 pounds is not a high school division, but it's good at a national tournament. More opportunities for these wrestlers, and it's usually, even as juniors, young guys. So 17 and 15. As action gets underway, that's Smith in the red. A shot from Donley right off the whistle. He's underneath. Sprawl from Smith. Coming out the back door, popping his head, and we're going to get a turn. That's 2 for Donley. No, red is, it was offered, but then the table and chair went 2 for red on the exposure, so it should be 1 now on the reversal.
2 and 1. I was a little surprised to see that call, but now Donley on top. His lace is dangerous. It appears that Smith has studied a little bit of film, knows that. He keeps his knees apart. Good sound fundamentals there, and in exchange that probably could have gone either way. 2 points on the board for Smith, 1 for
Another
Donley.
shot by Donley. Coming out the back door once again. This time, let's see if he's ready for that counter. Should be his points there. They are, and he takes the lead back and forth. Lots of action here to start the first match of these junior finals.
Smith still holding on to that ankle, even though he's already given up the takedown. Well, finally flattens out, and now Donley working for that lace. He is really trying to get those legs together.
So Donley scored on the exposure and then worked to gain control on top, but that doesn't score you any more points once you're in parterre. You have to get any point there, you'd have to give up a point or give up exposure and then get a reversal. Shot by Smith, parried away by Donley. 1 minute 45 seconds to go in the first period. Still plenty of time for more action from these two young fellas.
Definitely. There's more action for you.
shot by Conley. He goes underneath. Again, kind of reached opportunistically at a leg that Smith had in front of him. Head underneath the knee. Now he pops it over the front. This will give Smith an opportunity for a counter. He locks around the crotch. He's going to think about rolling him through. He's getting close. Plenty of time to work here. And we get a stoppage. We'll come back up to our feet.
Most of the action so far has happened off of Donley's shots. Pretty much all of it. We've seen once a counter for Smith, once a finish for Donley, but now it's Smith in on a shot.
Yeah, he heard you saying he wasn't shooting enough, so there he goes underneath. He stretched out pretty far, though. Good sprawl by Donley. It's going to take a lot of muscle for Smith to pull that leg up, and instead we get another stalemate. We're going to go back to the center. 55 seconds to go in the first period.
Little contrast in body types. You see Smith so long, rangy. Uh-oh.
Going chest, body lock. Now a trap arm. It's 2 and could be 2 more. Did he get it? Yep, it confirmed. Is that going to be 2 more? Yeah, they said he went back to a defensible position. That trap arm is so tough. 11-2, and that's it. One more turn. The trap arm did it in the first period. He's pumped up.
Zane Donley, big flex. Shows that Team Oklahoma on his singlet. He earns them a champ, the first Fargo champion in the junior division. The sophomore from Oklahoma gets it done.
Yeah, since 2019, feels good to be back. Good work by the young 15-year-old. We're going to be seeing a lot more of him, especially as he moves up, starts competing. It's only a matter of time before he's in 106, 112, and so on.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma, you got yourself a young stud.
Definitely do have to imagine he probably spent some time training with Christian Forbes, maybe during the Fargo camp, and maybe at other times as well. He's a 106-pounder for Oklahoma. I think going to be competing in the third place match.
Wrestling for third, indeed he will. Good young talent coming up. Oklahoma, nice replays there. That's that trap arm. I mean, what can you do?
Let's go.
Oh, for Oklahoma.
Yeah, you see that at Oklahoma State matches. And there's the stop sign. Hanging out with Tanner Schedule, right?
I guess so.
Well, good for him. All right, 106 pounders coming to the mat. Brandon Morvari from Minnesota going to take the mat. He is in the red. He's going to be taking on Hunter Taylor from Missouri, who will be wearing the blue, and you'll see him momentarily.
Now 106, you've mentioned, you do the rankings of FloWrestling. One of the toughest divisions to deal with the COVID year, with guys that didn't even set foot in their high school campus for a year. Were you surprised? Were these guys on your radar, or is this just we needed a Fargo to get the young wrestlers at 106 to shake things out? Definitely
on the radar, but neither of these guys ranked. Hunter Taylor had a really good win in the semifinals over Christian Forbes, who's a top 10 guy. Definitely knew that was going to be an important match and one to circle. But no, these guys not on the rankings, definitely on the radar. Here they go, action underway.
So that's Morvari in the red for Minnesota. As you mentioned, got the Minnesota Storm singlet on as he gets a low-level shot. That's an ankle. He's working up to the knee. Taylor in the blue from Missouri. Good job turning to face him. And now he's got a crotch lock. He's going to get 2 on the exposure. And good job scrambling through that, although, yeah, Taylor, good job not giving up the 1 in reversal. A lot of times on those exposures, you end up bailing out and just making it a 1-point score, but stays on top. Now he's got a tight gut, elbow to elbow.
Just that lock. That may be the right adjustment. We'll see on the edge. Nope.
So runs out of room. They'll head back to the center, back to neutral. 2 minutes, 19 seconds to go.
Morvari is going to be a junior at Simley High School and drops in on a shot. Nice defense there from Taylor. Simley High School, Minnesota powerhouse program, and certainly has helped in the development of Morvari. Taylor going to be a sophomore at Liberty High School in Missouri, another strong wrestling tradition there at Liberty High School, and we've got blood on the mat.
Our first blood time of the finals of the 50th Fargo Junior Men's Freestyle.
There's
Taylor trying to tilt his head, keep some of that blood from spilling onto the mat, save his coaches some cleanup.
It's very considerate of him. He's got a Fargo final to worry about, but instead he's selflessly tilting his head to avoid putting too much blood on the mat.
Yeah, actually it looks like his ear, not his nose. So hazards of the sport, cauliflower, sometimes those ears explode. Gets a little messy.
Yeah, particularly in a tournament with brackets as big as these. 106, I believe, was a...
Now that trainer's face is the face of someone that sees something gnarly there.
Yeah.
As we got a good vantage shot. But sorry, I cut you off.
I saw that trainer in the coffee line this morning, and she had 5 cups of coffee. I don't think, I think she knew she might need to caffeinate up, but I don't know if that was enough.
Yeah, you'd hope 5 would do it.
You would hope, but now you're looking at an ear situation like this, and could be shocking. Hopefully, we'll be back to action soon, though, and this may end up. Looks like they're trying to they've got that stick with that, whatever that chemical is that chemically cauterizes it.
Ooh, yeah, like a big long Q-tip that just hisses and sizzles you up.
Yeah, so hopefully that works. If not, we're gonna probably see a gable wrap around that ear.
Either way, he's a wrestler. He's going to tough it out. I'm sure he just wants to get back on the mat. He's got a 2-point lead. Let's see if they make any adjustments. Only a minute into this bout, so not too much to take away. Good shot by Morvari to start things off down on that ankle, but Taylor scrambled to get in a good position to get a crotch lock and roll through. So, if you're Morvari, there's no reason not to go back to your shots. They're working. You just got to be a little careful about, those scrambles right after. You want a clean finish. And Taylor, we'll see his offense. Haven't had a chance to really see what his game plan is.
Yeah, we'll see. He was very solid defensively in his semifinal yesterday with Christian Forbes. Had a chance to call that one, and his defense was really the difference in that match, his ability to mitigate those shots. And so, he's a guy that can shut you down. And now with a 2-point lead, that is certainly to his advantage.
And we're underway. Clock ticking down under that 2-minute mark, so plenty of time. Low level stance for Taylor. He gets back up into space. Now we're into collar ties. Shot by Taylor.
See what Morvari has. Oh, nice shuck attempt, but Taylor just controlling that elbow.
Yeah, head and hands defense, keeping both wrestlers at an arm's length. They're getting about forehead to forehead, but not too much closer. Some shots, some attacks, but like that one, touching knees, but not much else.
First passivity warning of the match going to go against Morvari. Nobody on the clock yet.
So still in space there. This is a little bit more of a feeling out period. They had that shot, flurry, and score early in the first period. Now as we round that final minute of the first period. Oh, we got a nice elbow pass and a clean finish on that one. Taylor takes a 4-point lead. Now he's got a tight gut. He's picking Morvari up. Good job belling back down to the mat, making himself heavy.
Close to the edge. See if he can finish this in bounds.
So that's twice now that Taylor's had a extremely tight gut wrench wrapped up. These lighter weights, they get the long arms going, the small waists, and they can wrap up from touch their own elbows. Now I have a nice low shot from Morvari like he had earlier in this period, but once again, Taylor stops the initial momentum, stretches Morvari out. What's he gonna do from here? We'll get a stalemate. 22 seconds left in the first period, still 4-point lead by Hunter Taylor.
Short time left in the first, and just a little verbal warning there. Tell him to wrestle up from his feet. Short time left in the period. We'll see if there are any attacks in these last 10 or so seconds. Doesn't look like it.
No. Oh, there's a very short time, but running out of time just as he flips that leg over with a single leg. Wizard defense from Morvari kept him from giving up any points there.
Both Morvari and Taylor, the lone finalists for their teams. Minnesota, just the one finalist. They do have 6 All-Americans that are still vying for their spots on the backside, or 6 total, 5 on the backside. Missouri, though, just 1 All-American, and it is Taylor. So he wants to make the most of their one All-American honor. Wants to finish on top of the
Absolutely.
podium.
Everybody comes here with their teammates. You spend basically a week or more. It's kind of like camp. And if you don't know these guys, you get to know them at the end. You form a team. A lot of them have camps beforehand, depending on the state. And you want to do well, not just for yourself, but for everybody else. Looking for a head pinch as the second period gets underway. And now Taylor counters, holds Morvari on his back for a moment, and that will be 2 more points. Now the third time he's got a gut wrench, hasn't scored yet.
Close
Goes to the
one.
right, pops his hip. Good technique there, getting the most out of that. Now 2 points away from a tech fall.
Saw Jared Lawrence reach for the brick. He thought about challenging that call and then decided not to. It was interesting. Taylor didn't roll Morvari all the way through. I think definitely exposed though.
Yeah, Minnesota, they had a lot of cadet All-Americans. And they have a finalist here, and as you said, multiple All-Americans in the junior division as well. Under 2 minutes to go, still an 8-point lead. Taylor just needs to wrestle smart, not give up any big exchange of points. It's just shot by Morvari. Taylor smells blood in the water. He's going to go for it. This could finish off the bout, earn himself a stop sign, and he gets it.
Hunter
Taylor, yes, sir.
Impressive. He's bringing that stop sign back to Missouri. Liberty High School got to be proud of this young man getting his hand raised with a gable wrap in the process, looking sharp.
Not slowed down at all. He looked good before the wrap came on. He looked good after it, and got it done. So impressive stuff for Missouri, and also from Missouri, Luke Lillidahl, excuse me, won a silver medal. Didn't get it done in his championship bout, but that's a world championship. So good things for lightweights in Missouri.
Well, we have an official leaving his shoes on the mat.
How about that? It's the last match.
That
A tradition unlike any other.
that might be the first time I've seen an official leave his shoes on the mat. Have you seen that, Spay?
I'm going to go ahead and assume this symbol is the same. Symbolism represents the same thing. I've never seen an official, but kudos to that gentleman for going out the way he wanted to.
And kudos to Nathan Taylor, who will always have that official's shoes.
Those are his shoes now.
In his Fargo photos.
You leave anything on the mat after you win a championship, that becomes the property of the champion.
I just think Hunter Taylor will always have a man's shoes in his Fargo.
You get a stop sign
photos.
and then you bronze these official shoes.
I mean, you know what? Hats off to that official on a career that I will assume was good.
That match, I don't know, no complaints at all from the officials department from where I'm coming from.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Clean match. Pace was good. Good freestyle refereeing.
And you mentioned earlier, but yeah, Luke Lillidahl, what a performance from him. I didn't want to cut that short. Outstanding. His first round match against Russia was an absolute battle. He had to gut it out. He was close to pulling off the same thing in the finals. Didn't get it done. But now we are moving up to 113. We got Braden Davis in the red from Michigan. He is number 4 in the country at 113 pounds. Super impressive. Going to be a junior at Dundee High School, and he is taking on Ben Aranda from DeKalb, Illinois. He graduated from high school. He's going to be at Cleveland State next year.
Yeah, how about the Vikings of Cleveland State? Their coaches will be watching here for Aranda in the blue, Davis in the red, and this is a battle of number 4 versus number 11 nationally. The best in the country.
Braden Davis, been on people's radar for a long time. He was a Super 32 finalist last year and has been very solid all year. Aranda didn't have as many opportunities to compete without the normal Illinois season this year, but when he started competing in the spring, really made a name for himself, had a number of ranked wins, and worked his way actually into the rankings in the top 20 for the first time. And wow, Davis on a shot.
There's Davis switching off, head on the outside, picking up Aranda. That'll be 4.
Big
good mat
corner.
awareness by Davis. Didn't want to settle even for just 2. He could have gotten 1. Now he has a 4-0 lead. Still early on, plenty of time for Aranda.
Definitely. Braden Davis, though, looking really locked in so far. Davis, part of that Dundee High School program, really strong, and he is attacking again.
And now Davis racing out to an 8-point lead. It's going to be over almost before it starts. Davis thought he might have had that, but not back to a defensible position. Not even 90 seconds into this bout, looking to finish it off with a tech. Braden Davis will instead have to do it from neutral if he does it in the next exchange.
Davis making the most of his opportunity here on the Fargo stage. Up 8-0. We've seen guys come back from that kind of deficit before, but Davis just keeps coming forward.
That's going to be tough. Well, looking close to a finish here. A sweep single, down to the mat, back up, and again, locking up a cradle, just needs 2. And now going for the cement job. They're up to their feet. Good job of Aranda fighting through that just to give up the 1.
9-0 now the lead for Davis, very much in control. See if Aranda can figure something out.
So this is a Nick Simmons trained Simmons Academy wrestling wrestler, as Nick Simmons, 5th in the world. Did great things at Michigan State. Now running a very strong wrestling club out of Michigan. And evidence, all you need to know is that Braden Davis is part of that, and he's putting on a display here on the big stage in Fargo.
Short time left here in this period, 25 to go. Aranda has slowed the pace, and getting to the period break might be what he needs to get a little instruction, but 15 left. Uh-oh.
They go out of bounds, and that's Aranda picking up a point, so life left in the match is still only a takedown. A takedown will still do it. That'll give a 10-point difference in favor of Davis.
That'll take us into the break. Braden Davis in the finals at Super 32, took a loss in the finals, and now with an opportunity to win on another big stage. Those probably, you know, Super 32, the biggest folk style tournament in high school wrestling. This, arguably the biggest freestyle tournament, maybe the cadet or junior trials, you could argue as well, but right. Certainly the biggest this is.
Yeah, for cadet trials, you know, that picks a team, so it's a little bit different than this. And now all the cadet world team members are not here because it's literally taking place as we speak. But at the same time, yeah, certainly the largest, draws the deepest number of competitors. As the second period gets underway, still a takedown away from a tech, but Aranda has an opportunity. It's freestyle. You can score in bunches.
Aranda has done that throughout this tournament. Maybe a little tougher task against a guy as tough as Braden Davis.
Reaching for a single, had a 2-on-1, and now he's going to finish. Aranda couldn't escape his clutches. Well done, Braden Davis. Stop sign for Michigan as he fixes his coiffure.
Big win. Dundee, a lot of success developing that young man, and congratulations to him. He's pretty calm about this whole stop sign situation.
Yeah, I think he probably knows that, you know, there's more work to be done. This is a deep and young weight class. Looking at the rankings, Nate Jesseroga, number 1. Mark Anthony McGowan, number 2. Vinny Kilcurie, number 3. Braden Davis, number 4. All sophomores. You know, that some of that'll be mixed around the next coming weeks or so. But what do you make of that crop of young men?
I mean, they're outstanding. Jesseroga competed just earlier today at the Cadet World Championships. McGowan didn't compete here or there, but he's won the Cadet World Championships in the past. He is a world-class high school lightweight. So, yeah, we're really strong at that weight in the United States. Braden Davis right up there with the best of them.
Yeah, what a crop as we look at the replays.
That's a crop.
That's a crop, all right. they'll be battling for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, you could say that weight class is goosed, really.
But they're not wearing any goose suits. That's all natural. No need to goose them.
120 pounders coming to the mat. Cannon Webster in the red. He's going to be taking on Lillie, who's going to be coming out in the blue momentarily. Both these guys a little bit of surprise finalists. Cannon Webster not so much a surprise finalist because he's, you know, not somebody you'd think would be on the stage, but because of his path, he had to go through Cooper Flynn to get here, who was the favorite, won that match. It's a little bit controversial, but Lillie, not a guy that people would have predicted to be on this stage. He has surprised those people, and he's made it here.
Yeah, a veteran. I mean, Lillie has been competing at a high level in lots of big national tournaments. You know, he's older for a lightweight, so he's got some experience, but it's good to see him here. I would say this is another instance of a busted bracket, something that, you know, here at Flow we know so much about.
You see those busted brackets from time to time.
As we're underway, it's Webster representing Illinois in the red. In the blue, that's Lillie from the Pacific Northwest, Washington State. They've, you know, the West Coast in general, you want to see the talent show up over there. It doesn't have a lot of D1 programs compared to the rest of the country per the amount of talent that comes from there. So, you know, anything to put pressure on those institutions out there to start supporting and serving their constituents a little bit better, at least when it comes to wrestling.
Absolutely. And Lillie, like Aranda before, a graduated senior. He's going to Utah Valley next year. The Wolverines got a good one. Cannon Webster just finished his sophomore year. He'll be a junior next year at Washington High School in Illinois. He is verbally committed. He's going to go to the University of Illinois.
Yeah, so two guys with their college plans wrapped up. Not a ton of uncommitted wrestlers out here, but a lot of wrestlers show up here, try to get on the radar, try to pick up some more scholarship bucks. This is one of the places to do it. 2 minutes to go. Good hand fighting, good action. No scores yet.
Lillie, some hard snaps. And, you know, one trend that we've seen this weekend with Cannon Webster is sometimes he'll give up the first score, the first takedown, but he will not stop. He wrestles a really hard pace, stays in good position for the most part, and hand fights hard. So as this match wears on, Webster may get a little bit of an advantage. Lillie, though, no slouch in his own right. He has big move potential, and he's navigated a really tough path to get here. He's gone through Gregor Chalakian in the semis, went through Tanafu of North Dakota in the quarters, beat Marlon Yarborough in the round of 16, so good path. But first points of the board are going to go to Cannon Webster.
Yeah, Webster, I think technically Lillie scored the first one since he was on the clock.
Yeah, he was on the clock,
and
right.
He hit that arm drag not quite in time, although he's making up for it here with that gut. He's going to score twice, just got that last one in bounds. And it's 6-1, so Lillie gets that shot clock point. Webster, you'll trade 6 for 1 any day.
Yeah, that's a good trade.
That's a great trade.
I would take that. If somebody offers it to you, take it.
So he picks up a 5-point lead. And now Lillie is going to have to get on his offense, although there's time, a whole second period to go with 45 seconds here in the first.
See that hard hand fight and that pace from Webster already playing a factor. A little slip there.
30-second sprint coming from the corners. You hear the instructions from both sets of coaches. More hand fighting. Parterre's been the difference for Webster so far, a little less than halfway through this bout.
Good level changes here from Webster. Making Lillie move as time runs out. Oh, nice attempt.
Did he get it in time?
2 offered
Yes.
and confirmed. I think we may see a brick here.
Our chairman is Sammy Julian, and he is, after this tournament, on his way to Tokyo. He's going to be one of the USA's representatives in the refereeing pool.
That's a business trip in Tokyo.
That's a business trip, and they were talking about there's Brian Medlin and Zane Richards for Illinois, future coaching staff members. Medlin heading up the Illinois RTC.
Good
Great Greco program as well, but that's some good cornering for Webster. I also like how Coach Medlin brings a towel to the corner. He's not using a T-shirt to towel you down. He actually uses a towel.
That's what you do.
It's those details.
That's what you do if you're a world-class corner.
That's right.
Second period underway. 7-point lead for Webster. Mentioned Webster committed to Illinois. He is a big-time recruit, number 21 in the class, 2023. Also committed Christian Carroll, a guy we'll see later in these finals. He's a top 5 guy in that class. So
snap down, short offense. Now they come back up to their feet. With that short time takedown, it's an 8-1 lead. Ooh. Great snap, wrist snap. Had Lillie bouncing off the mat. Now he's trying to stay down, stay in parterre, and they call that action grounded. A controversial rule, especially in light of Levi Haynes' last cadet match, but that's a tale for another time. We'll get back to the action here. 2 minutes to go. 7-point deficit for the graduating senior, Yusuf Lillie.
You got me flustered bringing up that Levi Haynes situation.
I'm sorry, I should not have mentioned it. We should.
Back to the snap, though, for Webster.
Drive it from our memory as Webster drives forward, gets a takedown, and is driving for the tech fall. Super tight gut wrench. Clinched it up, and repping Illinois.
A lot of pride for the guys from Illinois, the guys and girls from Illinois. They are one of the teams that every year talk about winning that team title. They do most of the time. And Webster making sure everybody knows he's repping that team.
Yeah, and for good reason. The folks of Illinois are proud of it because they put in the work. It takes more than the wrestlers. Of course, they're the ones out there, as we see stop sign for Cannon Webster. But there's admins, there's coaches, there's family, there's support the entire time. And all of that should be commended. There's that tight gut, elbow to elbow. That's the first 2 turns that really set the tone.
Here's the last one. That's the match ender. Cannon Webster right to the Illinois. Points at the flag.
Rather subdued singlets this year.
Yeah, you know.
In the past, they've had the low cut, classic style that is, you know, all lat exposure.
Yeah. A little less lat exposure this year.
Not as much lat.
Quite a bit less lat.
Those lats are covered.
Yeah. Leaving a little something to the imagination. And here's Drake Ayala.
Singlet's not known for doing that usually.
Drake Ayala coming out. Hard slap of hands in the corner.
So I don't know if that clinches it. I think Team Iowa to have a shot, I would imagine they would need Drake here, but he's one of their big guns.
Ayala on the mat. He is a graduate of Fort Dodge High School in Iowa. He's in the red. Sergio Lemley in the blue. Lemley going to be a junior at Mount Carmel High School. Wow.
Wasting no time. Drake Ayala, I hope you guys didn't blink. You missed the takedown. I was looking at notes, so I'll have to catch it on the replays as Ayala there scooping up both legs. Can't quite get him locked up. Good defense in parterre by Lemley. He's in the blue. Another Indianan. He's got a tall order ahead of him.
Yes, he does. This was one
Drake
of the...
holding on to that tricep, deceptive strength and power. He's just going to work methodically up, throw or limp arms through, gets 2 on the takedown, 2 on the gut wrench, and the points are starting to add up. 6-0, less than a minute down. Here comes a gut wrench to the left after going to the right. Gets a turn back to the belly. He's got more time to work.
Lemley fighting with that foot, but it's not going to work.
And how about that? Drake Ayala showing why he's pound for pound number 9. Number 2 in the nation. Few can hang with Drake Ayala. Number 3. Stop signs, I assume.
This is no slouch of an opponent that he just beat in Sergio Lemley either. Lemley, number 12 in the country. Drake Ayala made it look like it was a drill session, and super impressive both on his feet and from parterre. Iowa Hawkeyes getting a good one from Drake Ayala.
Yeah, they are. you know, here's some replays. So, all right, I missed that takedown. Maybe our guys in the booth. There it is. Dump. Going for 2 right off the whistle. That's our producer, Troy, our none better. Working the replay. Oh, there was a trap arm at first. That's how that first turn scored. There it is. Lemley couldn't get his arms free until after he turned. Cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, he came here to win this thing. He did that. Now it's done.
Did the dang thing, and now it's done.
Move on to the next thing.
Moving on, probably over to Iowa City as we move up to 132. Yes, sir.
Emilio Ysaguirre taking the mat. He is one of the most impressive performers on the weekend. He beat Nick Bouzakis, who is number 2 pound for pound. That's a big win. And he has followed it up with strong performances. Beat Garrett Grice, beat Hunter Mason. Nasir Bailey had a win over Zeke Seltzer in the semifinals. A lot of people have circled that as a potential final, Seltzer and Bouzakis. These 2 guys put a stop to that, and now they are meeting on the big stage.
The action underway. Bailey in the blue. Silver singlets, the silver and gold is what Illinois came with. Of course, the blue trim needs to be blue or red. Ysaguirre in the red. Love these Arizona singlets, too. The state flag just lends itself well to design.
It really does. Ysaguirre working him to the edge. Mentioned in the pre-show, that's close. See what they call 1 red.
Ysaguirre living on the edge. Or I should say Bailey was, and he stepped over, gives up the first point.
Bailey going for the braids in the finals. He had the hair unbraided for most of the tournament. Ysaguirre, part of the Valiant Prep program. We mentioned that in the pre-show. 7 All-Americans for Team Arizona, all 7 from that program.
Ysaguirre, if you looked at some of his matches, just makes life so confusing for you as an opponent. Hitting shrugs from either side, throw-bys, then throws a level change in there, keeps you guessing. And that's the name of the game. I mean, you can have your defense prepared for anything, but if he can fake you going one way, set his traps, then you're in trouble. Although Bailey drops down on a single leg. He's got Ysaguirre bouncing in the air towards the edge of the mat. Should probably at least tie it up.
Oh!
Good horseshoe whip. Brings Ysaguirre down. That was pretty. And that's 2 points for Bailey. He takes the lead.
Beautiful, beautiful work from Nasir Bailey. Now looking for a turn on the edge. And wow. Bailey has so many tools, both offensively and defensively. When guys get to his legs, he's got that grip strength. He's able to break the lock. You see guys do that sometimes, and now.
Posting on an elbow, getting in deep. Bailey goes out of bounds. Doesn't get grounded in time, so score knotted up, but 2 points for Bailey. He has the 2-point maneuver versus 2 one-point moves. He'll hold on to lead by criteria. That will probably change almost definitely by the end of this match.
Bailey so hard with those snaps. A little over a minute to go.
So Bailey getting to his ties as Ysaguirre now has to fight through an underhook. He gets a whizzer in. They're on the mat. And we'll call that grounded as well. Probably the right call. Very tough to see. But either way, you know, it's in the rule book. Blocked a double leg by Bailey. Did Ysaguirre. There, a nice short drag. Bailey spins out of it. Straight on. Arm and leg, and Ysaguirre is going to drive Bailey out, pick up another point, so he takes the lead outright.
3 one-pointers. Good work from him.
So Bailey will have criteria if he scores. There's 25 seconds, so short time in the first. Reaching in for a knee pull. Ysaguirre doesn't get it. Good back and forth. The battle within the battle. These collar ties and fighting for wrist control and hand control. It's almost the whole match in and of itself. Now it's Bailey that fires off a shot. He reaches, can't quite get all the way around Ysaguirre's legs. We'll go to the break.
See Tommy Gant in the corner with Nasir Bailey. And another Illinois guy. We've seen Cannon Webster already win a title for Illinois. Nasir Bailey trying to add to that. He's going to be a junior this year. He's from Homewood Flossmoor High School.
I got a factoid from Mr. Fargo. Jason Bryant says Webster's title gives Illinois first junior title of the day. They have 61 in the state of Illinois all time. That's third behind Iowa with 65 and Ohio at 64. Iowa now 66 because Drake Ayala just won right after that. So not only is the team race on the line, but the all-time junior title race at least will be altered. It already has. See what else those states have in store as we see what happens in this match. Ysaguirre holding on to that 1-point lead. Gets his hands tangled up in the straps of Bailey. We're getting a warning about fingers. I don't know who, they meet simultaneously. So just something to be aware of. Good job by the official making sure that's brought to the attention of both wrestlers. Reaching in is Ysaguirre. Bailey maneuvers out of danger.
Nasir Bailey trailing, but he trailed on criteria in the second period of his semifinal with Zeke Seltzer. Got a big 4-pointer, which is 25 seconds left to take the lead. Certainly capable of getting back in this match. 1 point would give him the lead on criteria, but he's also got big move potential, so be aware of that.
As that shrug, Bailey dances out of the way. For Bailey to keep reaching for that elbow control. And another admonishment, I believe, about the fingers for Ysaguirre. He reaches in with a collar tie. Both guys, gas tanks seem to be doing all right. They're expanding a lot of energy in neutral in these hand fights.
Did he elevate
Ysaguirre
him?
picks Bailey up, and it's white paddled. So called grounded again.
Oh, I just got a correction from Jason Bryant. Iowa had 66 going into Ayala's match. They now have 67 total champs.
There you go. So Illinois still has some ground to make up for that all-time crown. Bailey's just looking for that national championship here. He'll start counting up all-time trophies for his state after the match. 1 minute to work. Ysaguirre has been taking more ground.
Saw that thigh pry there from Bailey and preventing Ysaguirre from moving forward, but he's got to get his way to some points with just a minute to go.
Just a 3-2 score, but as I mentioned, the battle within the battle, these fakes in the hand fighting as another tightrope walk goes badly for Bailey, gives up another one, so now a takedown is necessary. He'll still have criteria, but a step out won't do it. 46 seconds to work. There's a shrug for Bailey. He dives in. Ysaguirre chewing up clock with his front headlock. .30-second sprint time. Bailey shoots in. Now he's got a single leg. He finished this one last time. He runs it, he chases down. Ysaguirre does the splits, doesn't give it up. Bailey charging forward. Ysaguirre running away.
Still wrestling on the edge.
They go out of bounds and a point for Ysaguirre. 8 seconds to go. Ysaguirre somehow evaded that takedown and had the body awareness to get a step out point of his own. Bailey charging forward. There's the takedown.
With a second on the board, they go out of bounds.
Oh, they didn't give the one. He got the takedown. They didn't award the step out. Nasir Bailey
gets the takedown.
Ysaguirre was confused like I was. He thought he had the step out. Oh, no.
Back flip.
And the
For Nasir Bailey.
Takedown to do it. Oh, you hate to see it, but what a finish. Nasir Bailey in Illinois. That's going to hurt for Ysaguirre, but you have to be happy for the guts that it took.
I mean, incredible late match wrestling by both guys. Ysaguirre's action on the edge to avoid giving up the points was outstanding.
The scramble.
But then Bailey got right back to that same attack,
chasing
and this
him
time
down.
he was able to finish.
Bailey shaking it off when it looked like he lost all chance.
I want to see the replay of this. This is really interesting. Ysaguirre thought he would have had a point on the step out. They white paddled it, judge and chair. So we're going to probably get a look at that action, I would imagine.
Wow, so Illinois 62 now, junior titles. Both wrestlers come walking out. Here's an early replay.
That's where Ysaguirre attempted that step out. That was real grounded.
Going for the single leg, long arm reach, and just the strength to pull that back in. Yeah, this is the scramble at the end. Doing the splits is Ysaguirre.
Stays in bounds, and he may have maybe should have given up a point on the step out anyway. It makes sense that they wouldn't have given Ysaguirre the point. They probably could have given Bailey a point on a step out there anyway.
Yeah, and I think if, there's a chance we would have seen a challenge brick too if that point stayed on the board, unlike instead of getting white paddled like it did. But just, man, happening so quick, rapid back and forth action. It's tough to keep track of. But man,
absolutely
incredible performance, both wrestlers. Lots to be proud of this tournament.
All right, so 138-pound finals. We got a Texan on the mat, Tegan Jamison. He is a graduate of Plano West High School. He's heading to Minnesota. And his opponent in the blue, Casey Swiderski of Michigan. This should be a good one. Swiderski number 7 in the country, Jamison number 15.
And we're underway. Jamison in the red and white with the 2 knee pads. In the yellow shoes and the blue singlet, that's Swiderski.
Swiderski in the blue, going to be a senior at Dundee High School. His teammate Braden Davis already won a Fargo title earlier today.
Good throw by. Swiderski comes guns blazing. He's a high-pace individual. Going to fit right in with Kevin Dresser's Cyclones.
He is. Tegan Jamison, no slouch in his own right.
Yeah, a lot of horsepower. Helping put Texas on the map. They got the numbers. Now they're going to start racking up more stop signs and accolades. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Seems the whole world's moving to Texas.
It does. And Tegan Jamison making the most of his performance at junior trials. He was 5th there. That's UWW junior, so an age class above this, but
nice ankle pick, but Jamison fights off. He's now got a 2-on-1. So we're going to see some caution soon. Wow, Swiderski blows the whistle as he hits a duck under, but he gets the passivity. It's always tough, who the passivity is going to go on. I think Swiderski had a little bit more in the action and activity department, but I think with these two guys as motors, I wouldn't worry about things coming down to activity points. But nonetheless, Swiderski goes on the clock. He's got 15 seconds to score, or else he'll concede a point. Attack by Swiderski, re-attack by Jamison. Now it's down to 5 seconds on the clock. Swiderski's going to let that expire and just focus on winning the next battle. One minute to go in the first period. That point's on the board for Jamison. He leads by the slimmest of margins.
This one of the deeper brackets in Fargo. Oh, nice attack.
Beautifully timed. Swiderski was keeping Jamison on his toes, but then found an opening. Gets 1 point with that single leg. Was looking for a second. He did a little trap foot action.
Great attack there from Jamison. Mentioned really deep bracket, 138 pounds. Both Swiderski and Jamison.
What are some of the other names that these guys had to battle through?
Taking Jamison, semifinals came against Kimo Lea, who super tough guy, big move potential out of California. Beat Blaine Brenner before that, and now Jamison in another attack.
Ooh, he wraps up both legs that time. Looking for a clean finish into the quad pod. Somehow did not go down. I think an elbow hit just now for Swiderski. So there Jamison gets the takedown that eluded him earlier. 3-point lead over number 7 in the nation, Casey Swiderski.
That'll take us into the break. Yeah, Jamison, another one of these seniors who's already graduated, moving on, that we've seen. That's been a little more common this year. Guys missed out on the opportunity last year and also missed out on a lot of wrestling competitions potentially this year. So we've got taken Jamison here. We had a graduated senior in Drake Ayala who won his bracket. We already saw at 120 pounds Lillie, who was a senior, and at 113.
Yeah, it's what's making
Aranda.
this tournament so deep.
It's helping for sure.
And Swiderski has a deep coaching staff. He's got 2 multiple-time All-Americans, Nick Simmons, who we saw earlier, and Dave Habit, who very nearly qualified for the Olympics wrestling for Slovenia, but he's also a NCAA finalist at Edinburgh. That's some firepower in his corner. Second period, almost 30 seconds deep. 3-0 lead for Jamison. This would be an upset, not a huge one, but if Jamison can hold on, Swiderski the favorite on paper.
Absolutely.
Jamison staying on the attacks. Swiderski wrestles out of him. Jamison can keep that pace up. Swiderski is going to have to figure out some alternative strategies. There's some heavy hands. Jamison kind of came across with a left hand.
Look at it talking to it. You know, Spey, I just noticed the back of the Texas Singlets has the old come and take it sign.
That's a good.
Big Second Amendment fans.
Big Second Amendments. One of these days, Texas will also get around to supporting the Third Amendment, the greatest of all the amendments.
Under 2 minutes to go.
So minute 45 to go. Time for Swiderski to work. As it's getting a little chippy out there with the clubs, but so far everything kosher.
90 seconds to go. Ooh, Swiderski.
How about reaching for that ankle pick? Timed it perfectly. Now it's just a 1-point match. Can Swiderski get something going on parterre? And they'll go out of bounds. They'll go, let's see, no caution and 1 for fleeing.
Nick Simmons was hoping for it.
Yeah, and I can see why he called it. He had a trap arm. Jamison freed his arm, but in doing so, kind of lunged towards the boundary.
Certainly did.
I thought they'd be started. I thought they'd restart in parterre, but they did not call the fleeing. So back up to their feet.
3-2 lead. Swiderski has gotten to that ankle pick. He's shown the ability to score. We'll see if he goes back to that attack. Nice shot, though, by Jamison.
And he needs some horsepower to muscle this one up. He gets to his feet, but Swiderski stops him, looking for a little extra point. Will go a long way if he can get a step out. Swiderski's heels at the boundary, manages somehow to get back in bounds. They both peek at the clock, 45 seconds to go. Coming down to the wire here. Great bout. These guys battling.
Throughout the match, you've talked about the pace of both these guys, and you can see their stances coming a little. We'll see if pace is a factor late. 30 seconds to go.
Snap down. Swiderski was looking for an angle there. I think he wanted that one. Reaching for an ankle this time. Jamison was ready. Gets into short offense. We got a little bit of a singlet pull. And now Jamison muscles up a single leg. Swiderski, good job fighting through. He can't waste time in these scrambles. Swiderski's back in on a single leg. Or Jamison, I should say. Now he's got Swiderski up in the air. That's going to ice it. 5 seconds to go. Swiderski bellies out. And Jamison How about the great state of Texas getting a stop sign?
That's the way you want to finish a Fargo match. You know, sometimes you just got to win anyway, prevent the guy from scoring, but for taking Jamison to get in on that shot and finish it, that's got to feel good. Super impressed with his performance here. Swiderski disappointed, but no reason to hang his head. He was outstanding throughout the tournament.
I'll be honest, Swiderski is one of the guys I circled coming into this tournament just because his matches are always so exciting. They're so hard fought. This was no exception. So credit to Tegan Jamison, coming back out after graduating high school, getting it done, representing the Lone Star State. There's his stop sign. That'll look good in the trophy case.
It sure will. 138-pound national champ. And we are going to have a break here in just a moment, but first, let's take a look at these replays. That's the end of the match, looks like. And there's that ankle pick.
That was the cleanest of all the finishes. It just wasn't enough for Swiderski. That's the icer right there. Put it away. There's the flex. Texas with a junior national champ.
Yeah, outstanding. Who's number one?
How about it?
Happy to make this announcement. We have two Who's Number One events. They're back-to-back in Dallas. Women on September 17th. The men's card on September 18th. This is coming to you live on FloWrestling. Some of these very wrestlers that are competing today are likely to be in attendance.
Yeah, if you got some golden tickets with you, our man JD Raider is with us, and he's looking for scouting out people to invite to Who's Number One. It's going to be the biggest Who's Number One ever. The only time we've done 2 days. We want to keep that going. We're going to be inviting more women than ever. A whole card of the best high school women. Junior Nationals is going on right after this, and we'll head the junior finals, maybe some more golden tickets tomorrow.
We'll see. We had a golden ticket go out earlier today. Anthony Knox. He's been invited on. We'll see if we can make that match happen.
Yeah, but there it is, Dallas, September 17th and 18th. If you haven't heard yet, that is what's happening. We'll be talking about it on Who's Number One, the show, up until September. All about the matchups. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, let's get back to the Junior National Championships here in the Fargo Dome. 145
pounds. We have Caleb Rathjen of Iowa, another graduated senior. He is going to Iowa in the fall, and he's taking on Jordan Williams of Oklahoma. Williams going to be a senior at Collinsville High School in Oklahoma. He's won on this stage a couple of times, and these two have opposing styles. They've met in the past and gone back and forth. Williams got the last win at Junior Duels.
So we're underway now. Williams in the blue. Look for the Iceman. Hit some ducks. He's elusive. Scramble early on the attack by Williams. Rathjen in the red. Just stays down on a leg. So Rathjen, good job scrambling with a guy like Williams. Very high pace. Gets a stalemate out of that.
Jordan Williams, you see that footwork. He's a unique style. You don't wrestle a lot of guys with the kind of offense that he has, that have the feel that he does. And, you know, very, very opposite, really, of Rathjen, who just pushes the pace, comes forward. You see him with a hard underhook there.
So no scores yet. Somebody they have to start handing out these passivity warnings.
First passivity goes against Williams.
Iowa has climbed into third place. They got 98. They're going to try to overtake Pennsylvania by the time these finals are over. Illinois may have separated themselves with, or clinched it, with the Nasir Bailey win. They have 124 points. So we'll keep you updated as we go. In the meantime, we've got a 145-pound final to get through, as well as the rest of the weights.
Rathjen now warned for passivity. These guys had really brutal gauntlets to get through to make it to this final. Williams beat Matt Bianchi in the semis. He teched Jackson Arrington in the quarters. Those are some insane matches.
Counter attack after Williams shot by Rathjen. He's in on a single. Good defense by Williams. We get a stalemate back up to their feet. 1 minute, 19 seconds to go.
Rathjen, Technico Ruiz in the semis beat Richard Fedolin, who's really tough ranked opponent in the quarterfinals. So both these guys, no easy path to make it this far.
So Williams goes on the board first. I mean, you could just draw a name out of a hat over who should go on the clock. Both guys were attacking, but someone does have to go on the clock. You cannot end the first period without a passivity clock. And they're taking a shot as Rathjen. He doesn't want to wait for those 30 seconds to end. Good sprawl by Williams. Great flexibility. Now he's got a lock around the crotch, trying to get a roll. Gets a little bit out of position, and I think we're going to get another stalemate.
Normally, when you're the attacking guy, a stalemate, you're a little bit disappointed. In this case, the stalemate ends up, the shot clock runs out, point goes on the board. So
yeah, time on the side of Rathjen in that instance. Good call, David. He picks up the first point. 30 seconds to go here in the first period. On another leg, Rathjen, he's in a little bit better position this time as Williams stepping up in the air. Hopping on one leg towards the boundary, and he'll just get a single point. That's a good short time score. 18 seconds still. Plenty of time for a guy like Jordan Williams.
Rathjen got a great angle on that attack. That really, really helped him out. That first shot a little more straight on, and you saw that defense of Williams.
So making the most of those ties. Rathjen reaching again for a leg. Williams shoots in, but time expires in the first period. We'll go to the break.
These guys such familiar opponents, and a lot of different things could happen in this one. We saw in the semifinal yesterday, Jordan Williams hit one of the nastiest duck unders of the entire tournament.
He's done some of those before.
He really has, and you know, Rathjen, of course, going to be aware of that, but also moves forward a lot and potentially has an opening. But I'm excited for this second period. 2-0 for Rathjen.
Yeah, you can't sleep or get too comfortable with Jordan Williams as he fires off a low-level shot. Comes around. Oh, he could barely see it, but Rathjen has a leg there. You can see it better on the monitor, better angle with the camera. Williams looked like he finished clean, but good job, Rathjen, holding on. Switch to the other side is Williams. So Williams with a little bit more flash, but Rathjen.
Great adjustment, getting his head under the leg.
Yeah, it's just opportunistically, you know, a little bit of anticipation goes a long way, and if you know where you want to go and that works out, it's worth all the quickness. Another good shot by Williams. Rathjen immediately on the counterattack. They're back into collar ties. This has been a buzzsaw of a match. Only 2 points so far with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second. This is college level pace though.
It really is. 2 minutes left. Pace right now seems to favor Rathjen. He's going to go on the clock though. That'll give Williams an opportunity to get a point if Rathjen can't score, and that's going to be an important point because any other point would give Williams the lead on criteria. That's maybe
make it a
one before the horse. We still have 20 seconds to go on that shot clock.
Yeah. And we've seen, unfortunately, at the highest level, 1 point and just a few seconds can happen to anybody. Good re-attack by Rathjen. He's got a tight grip under the chin of Williams. Now he switches off to a single leg. Williams pressuring into him.
I don't know if the clock expired. It was really close. It did. So Williams
1 and 1, bang, bang, back and forth. So either 2 1-point scores or a 2-point score, but either way, Williams needs a little bit more offense.
Williams made a little bit of an adjustment with his leg elevated to stay in bounds for just a little bit longer, and man, he didn't beat the clock by much.
Yeah, that's a split-second savvy there, and maybe that's what it comes down to. You know, a takedown would give him the lead on criteria. So, man, if that's the difference maker, that is milliseconds and centimeters.
Attack there, good defense by Rathjen.
Heavy hands on the head. There's good level change, although Rathjen dives for that leg again. Far ankle saving lives. chest wrap, 35 seconds to go. Williams looking for a turn. He's wrapped up tight. Quick whistle, but that's what Williams needed. Back to their feet, 28 seconds. Man, he's quick at those level changes.
Yeah, he really
Rathjen,
is.
though, undeterred.
20 seconds.
20 seconds to go. Another level change. Rathjen was ready. He's back down on an ankle. 12 seconds. Crotch lock. Can Williams muscle it up here? 5 seconds to go. Rathjen looks at the clock. Close to a turn. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, did he
There's
get
the
it?
turn
2 offered,
in the final 2
confirmed.
seconds. They don't call him the Iceman for nothing.
Jordan Williams gets it done. We may see a brick come in. And here it comes.
Well, we're going to get another look at it.
He definitely elevated the hips. The question, our commentary booth got stormed here by some Jordan Williams fans.
We had some guests. That's okay. You probably heard over the microphone. Man, Jordan Williams was pumped up for that too. Did his backflips.
He elevated it. They're going to take a look. Definitely got the hips up. The question is going to be the angle on the exposure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you also have to look at the clock. It looked to me like it happened before time was up.
So we get it on the big screen here.
And we're going to take a look.
8 seconds, 7 seconds, 5. Move really starts with 3 seconds on the clock.
I don't know.
That, I believe.
I don't know if he got the exposure.
Well, they look at it frame by frame. I mean, definitely Rathjen flipped all the way over. Did he do it in time? Nope, they're going to call it the exposure.
Jordan Williams wins this tournament 3 times.
How about it? I mean, gutsy performance. The 2 things were millimeters, were just slivers of time and space between defeat and victory. The avoiding getting the activity clock, letting 30 seconds expire before giving out the step out, and then here it is.
That's the moment right there.
Just hesitating long enough, and then this right there, that's the 2.
Oh, there it is.
Right before time expired.
Wow.
And the round off. Look at that.
Wow.
Iceman does it again.
Jordan Williams, big backflip.
No fear.
He really doesn't have any fear at all.
Absolutely wild. Well, credit to Rathjen, too. I mean, he made that as exciting as it was, just as much as Jordan Williams. It's a tough way to lose, too. I mean, he's going to be thinking about that one for a long time. Easy to say, to shake it off. He's got a great career ahead of him, plenty more opportunities and more competitions. But Jordan Williams, well-deserved victory. Coming out now, Caleb Henson, number 3 in the nation. That's something to remember.
Yes, he is one of the best, and currently Caleb Henson at 152, the highest ranked returning wrestler. Numbers 1 and 2 are Herrera, Rondon, and Voinovich, who are graduated now.
And one would think that would bode well for his chances at securing a golden ticket.
They very well could. He's gonna have to get through Danny Wask first, who's had an outstanding tournament. Caleb Henson already in an attack.
In the red, pounces on a single leg, has Wask in the air. Wask avoids, going out, but they call a whistle on a bounce, so no continuation there. Yeah, I mean, nobody makes it to the finals without having a tough, a great tournament. You know, front side and back side is littered with people. Wow, how about that throw by?
Wask has really been solid this year, but not in the rankings, hasn't hit as many of the ranked opponents. He was a national prep champ, but not as deep a weight as you sometimes see at national preps with COVID. Henson has been rock solid all year. Barely any losses, was a Super 32 champ. And part of this Georgia core, it's one of the best groups of kids from Georgia to come through.
Yeah, don't sleep on any Georgian wrestlers. They are not Team Georgia from a while ago. Ooh, roll through with that 2-on-1. Little tricky 4-point attempt. Doesn't land, so just a step out so far.
Yeah,
a lot of torque on that shoulder, though.
That one doesn't feel great on the shoulder.
No.
Wask giving himself a rub down here.
Yeah, Coach Buxton trained, legendary Jersey coach, gives Wask some encouragement. At a certain point, there's not much to say when you're in the finals, except there's no going back. It's either win or keep going or defeat. So looking for chest wrap exposure on a shot by Henson. 2 offered, 2 confirmed. So wasn't bothering him enough to stop him from getting a nice exposure, taking the lead.
Yeah, really nice exposure there from Wask.
So early in the match, time for Henson to work. But Wask can't relax and sit on that 1-point lead. Now he's driving Caleb Henson off the mat. That'll be grounded. So yeah, we talked about that high ranking for Henson. Wask doesn't seem to be concerned about it.
He's not worried about it. He had another upset win in the semifinals over Eric Gibson. He trailed for a lot of that match, ended up coming back and winning 12-8, one of the more exciting matches of the semifinals. Wow.
Throw by, he's get that 2-on-1 work, and he's dangerous there. Tried the roll through earlier, his second throw by attempt, and the snap down, go behind is worth 2. It's behind the legs. Looking for a little modified leg lace. Had a leg and a hip.
Seeing that turn a little bit more in the last couple of years. Hard slap. We'll see just an attention right now.
Yeah, Henson took that one. He pointed at himself. All right, a little bit too aggressive there, but retook the lead. 3-2 now. Doesn't want to leave anything to chance. He's got the VT on his shoes. He will be at Virginia Tech. Double leg straight on by Wask. Now retaking the lead for the second time, or just taking the lead for the second time.
Henson smart to turn down, just gave up 2.
Henson answering right back on a single leg. Hasn't scored yet, though.
Ooh, he may give up a point.
Slipping out of danger, and a point for Wask. How about that awareness? Henson trying to pounce, and Wask kind of shucked him off. And Henson tumbled out of bounds, gave up another point, so he trails by 2.
Another deep attack.
Back in on a single leg. Wask, his defense, too good right now. We go to the break. This is got to be exactly where Daniel Wask wanted to be against a guy like Caleb Henson right now. 2-point lead.
He's looked outstanding offensively and defensively. I mean, he was all but dead to rights on that takedown on the edge. Ended up not only defending, but getting Caleb Henson out of bounds.
There's a 4-time All-American Hokie grad, David McFadden. That was him with the small towel. There he is.
Back to his Jersey roots, helping coach Team New Jersey, although now at the Pennsylvania RTC.
And we're underway in the second. Wask still with that 2-point lead. Henson on the attack. Wask avoids giving up any more points.
Shot from, roll through.
Immediate belly whizzer roll through by Henson.
Wask wants this 1 point, and he's going to get it.
So the lead for Henson just momentarily until Wask covers for a 1-point reversal.
He's looking for that same turn that Henson was looking for earlier.
Yeah, you get a hip, you thread one of the legs, that one is bent, and I'll leave it to the technician experts to explain a little bit better, but 2-on-1 back trip, that's gonna really help Henson out. 4 offered, 2 is confirmed.
That was beautiful.
They looked like they were at their feet, though. Were they not on their feet when?
They were certainly on their feet. The question is whether it's back exposed.
Good point. That's the other part of a feet to back, is the back part.
They're gonna challenge, and they want 4. We'll see what happens.
So you put 1 point at risk for a potential 2 more points. It's I didn't see it as clearly as maybe the coaches do. We'll see what comes of it.
Both these guys, seniors, and are going to be seniors in the fall. Caleb Henson from Woodward High School in Georgia. Danny Wask, part of that Blair Academy tradition. And we'll see if they put this one up on the board for us to look at.
Yeah, Blair, a powerhouse for a couple generations now. Out in northwest New Jersey. Very close to the Lehigh Valley, maybe generally in the Lehigh Valley. Now we'll get a replay on the big screen. You see both wrestlers going to look up in the Fargo Dome.
And they're going to put.
There's the Russian tie. Times this foot sweep beautifully. And
that's going to be 4, I believe.
Yeah, that's.
He does turn that chest down at the end, but
he turns,
he
but
looks exposed
his
to me.
butt was on the mat, in my opinion, in time.
Oh, they're going to say just 2.
Okay, so call upheld.
Failed challenge. I'm surprised. Henson still has criteria, so he is in the lead. So savvy challenge for that point, although giving up that point could come into play.
And yeah, no more challenge brick either for Henson. In his corner. Wask on the attack. Henson parries him away. 1:45 to go. Wask reaching in, now straight on double. Henson stops him, now he goes in underneath. Looking to come out the back. Wask reaching for ankles. Henson's got to free those feet. Wask holding on for now by fingertips and toes. Good flexibility on the knee. Henson will not be denied. 9-7. That's the 9 points he wanted.
Great fundamental finish. You see a lot of guys go for that big straight back finish, and
yeah, they get greedy a little bit.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, it's a fun highlight when it works, but when you're wrestling a guy as skilled as Wask is, not always the safest move. So Henson took his time, got the finish. Smart wrestling.
Yeah, 2 guys as technically proficient as these two. Not only do you have to hit everything correctly, you have to be precise about it. They're not going to come easy. Shot in by Wasp. Henson, feet to the boundaries, see if he can circle in. Powerful shot. 40 seconds to go. Wasp still in this, has a chance for a big upset. Would be the biggest win in his young career. Under 30. Henson, very smooth, goes back in, immediately has Wask draped over his back. He's fine to hang out here for a little bit. 15 seconds. Doesn't want to give up 2.
Still has a lead on criteria, does Henson.
5 seconds, just holding on for Henson. We're going to stay in parterre. 2-1 by the skin of his teeth, Caleb Henson.
9-9 on criteria, big
and
flex.
Georgia.
And
Virginia Tech. 9-9. 9-9, 9-9, 9-9.
Big win for Caleb Henson. Super 32 title, Fargo title, flex on the big stage, and I have a feeling this guy's going to be the recipient of a golden ticket.
I have a feeling too. We looked over at JD Rader. He's prepared, so he'll get a stop sign. He'll go do his interview in the mix zone, and maybe after that, see if he would like an invite to Who's Number One, which you just spoke about. There's Henson. Man, kudos to Wask. He made that as tight as it could be.
Early
There's a
chest
quick little
wrap.
tip.
That was closer than I thought. That was almost not 2. There's that roll through exposure. And then
But look at Wask, keeps fighting through and gets that a 1 point there. Here's that controversial feet to not back. Oh, he does turn, but man, if you went frame by frame, still kind of think that was 4. At least that's the letter of the law.
little VT, holding up the VT. After
Holding the
win.
V, and the T's got it on his shoes. Kudos to both wrestlers. That was a fun one.
Yeah, outstanding match. I mean, hats off to Danny Wask. That guy has
Exactly. Yeah.
Can't
say enough about how much fight he had in him this whole tournament.
Raised a lot of eyebrows.
Georgia getting it done. Texas is just their 5th all-time junior men's freestyle title.
I'm excited about this one. It's a rematch of the match we saw at the cadet trials. Josh Barr in the red from Michigan. He's wrestling Aiden Riggins from Iowa in the blue. Riggins, part of that Seabolt program.
So we had a Southern champ. Now we're going back to the Midwest. Michigan and Iowa, classic wrestling states.
Barr, part of that Donahoe club. And they're ready to go.
9 versus 10 on the mat right now. Barr in the red is ranked 9th. Riggins in the blue ranked 10th. Riggins in on a low shot. Barr has that long reach. Gets his limbs wrapped around. Is that a crotch lock? It is. And no turn, but does stymie the attack by Riggins.
In the semifinals, Aiden Riggins gave up the first 6 points of the match to Terrell Taylor, came back and scored 19 straight.
Both of these guys have long frames. Barr, though, exceptionally lanky, reaching in for a high crotch. It's so hard when you have to worry about defending from space from that far out. We get a passivity warning. Now back to the action. Front headlock, short offense for Riggins. They wrestle back to neutral.
Two minutes left, first period. Ooh!
Snap down for Barr, but Riggins opportunistically right in on the legs. He picks up 2. That was slick.
Timed that snap. I mean, he's certainly felt it before, but really capitalized on a move that Barr was intending to use for his own.
Yeah, when you know you're being taken someplace you're prepared to go, that just got you there a little bit faster. A little help from Barr, snapped him right into his own ankles, and good clean finish from Riggins. So Iowa with a 2-point advantage.
90 seconds left to go.
Attack from Riggins. Barr catches him. Restart with 1:21 remaining in the first period. Bouts are flying by. We're already up to 160 pounds. Barr with a nice opportunity. He's in deep. Riggins sprawling immediately. Now we're in a dogfight. 50-50 position. Barr switching off to the other side. Good fight underneath from Barr. Riggins trying to wear him out, get a stalemate. Barr not stopping at any point. Riggins gonna try to elevate with that crotch lock. They go out of bounds. Wonderful scramble from these large size 160-pounders.
Big dudes for sure.
Yeah, for 160, it's tough to rely on the eyeball test, but man, they look big.
Both these guys wrestled at 71 kilos at cadet trials, now up a little bit in weight since then. Nice attack from Riggins.
Yeah, very smooth. Barr on his rear end, wrapped around the crotch. He's close to getting tipped over. But, man, able to balance himself out with that reach.
It's that lock through the crotch position. It's tough for the offensive guy to decide what to do. That wasn't the exact Yanni Zane situation, but lock through the crotch makes it tough.
Yeah. Just got a thumbs up from JD, so I imagine the interview with Caleb Henson went well.
All right. Golden ticket exchanged, and now we're at the break. 2-0 lead, Aiden Riggins over Josh Barr. Their match at the cadet trials was really controversial. I don't remember the exact exchange that got reviewed, but there is a photo that Andy Hamilton got, one of the best photos out there, of Paul Donahoe throwing the brick, and he looks like a Heisman-winning quarterback with his, the way he
just wonderful
cocked
form
back to throw that brick. It's an incredible photo.
And a spiral right to the referees.
It actually hit Riggins in the leg.
Second period underway. 2-point lead for Riggins. So a stoppage, and now Riggins right back down in on a low shot. This is how he scored last time, except he's only got 1 foot. Shin whizzer from Barr, and now he gets the crotch lock working. Rolls Riggins through for 2.
Riggins now trying to score, regain the lead. Right now, it's Barr's on criteria.
Yeah, Riggins needs to get on his toes, drive forward. If he slips his arm in, it's a reverse lock on the leg.
1 offered.
2 offered. Will it be confirmed?
Just 1, but it's white
paddled. Riggins.
Not able to get it. There's no points there.
Yeah.
Barr had the exposure, so there are not going to be any extra points. All right, here we go. Tight match, just like the one they had at the Wisconsin Dells. This time it's Barr in the lead. See if that's the way it finishes. Warned for tying up both hands in the head.
Riggins once again down on a low-level shot.
Barr going for that chest wrap.
Close to going past 90. That
Iowa fans thought it was 2. Iowa corner thought it was 2. Officiating court did
Riggins
not.
can't get that elevation he needs. He's down on that leg.
If he can get that head out, he'll be good.
There he gets the head out, and if he keeps working up, there's the 2. So now Barr still hanging out. He's given up the 2. Maybe he can roll him through. Now his coach is telling him to bail. Just a minute to go.
Riggins wants to eat as much clock as he can here.
Yeah.
Now time to work for a turn. He's thinking about a lace.
Unless Barr wants to run that clock down, not helping himself by extending that scramble on parterre.
Another attack.
Double leg shot from Riggins.
Attackers are going to attack.
He wants to chew up more clock. He's fine in this, although he has to be careful. Barr with that reach can roll you through. I mean, it's 9 and 10, so you can't really call one a favorite. It's one way or the other. There it is.
Riggins can't give up on this position. He's got to try to get on top. 20 seconds to do it.
Now Barr's got the lead. Riggins needs to cover for the lead in 1.
Riggins trying to float this hip.
Now Barr can hang out here. Let the clock expire. 8 seconds to go.
Barr is going to take this. It looks like it. 5 seconds. You know Riggins going to take a shot.
Final 5 seconds on the whistle will determine what happens here. Riggins fakes or shoots again. Just circling his bar. He gets it done.
4-4
hop
on
step.
criteria.
And a
Josh
flex.
Barr.
Gets it done. Riggins.
Outstanding performance from Josh Barr. I mean,
Had the lead in the last scramble of the match.
super tight match, not just the score, but those positions could have gone either way so often. Josh Barr takes the last one by winning that last exchange, wins the match on criteria. He's got the stop sign. Great work from Josh Barr.
I would like to see that match many times again in the future. They're both 17. We're going to watch some highlights of it. But superly evenly matched. You know, number 9 over number 10. But if you run that back a few more times, you know, we'll get some different outcomes. And we'll get some more wild positions and scrambles. Well done by Josh Barr. Aiden Riggins, excellent effort there. Entertaining bout.
It's a match that's going to be fun to watch every time because what we just saw, Aiden Riggins is not going to stop attacking. He'll do that constantly. Josh Barr has so many ways to threaten defensively, so we're going to see that kind of match every time they wrestle.
Yeah, that was a great job. Been just high quality up and down these finals. So good to be back in the Fargo Dome. It's good to be back and have a schedule, a national championship events.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
As we get our next 2 wrestlers at 170 pounds. That's Braden Thompson Another Illinois man, his opponent,
Manny Rojas.
Manny Rojas of Michigan.
Michigan just had a champ. They'd like to have another one. They already have 2 so far today.
Good things happening in the Mitten State. So
First 2 Michigan champs from Dundee High School. Manny Rojas from Detroit Catholic Central.
And we're underway already at 170 snap down. Rojas trying to get big. He's been wrestling up at 182 where he was ranked, but doesn't seem to have any issue getting down to 170.
Yeah, and actually because of the Michigan weight classes, competing up at 189 where he was a state champion.
That's right. They had the old ones, the old weights that the old timers remember in other states.
The throwbacks from our era.
Appreciate that Michigan's keeping that alive.
I did too, and Rojas.
Although as a ranker, I'm sure you absolutely hate having a whole.
Yeah, it's confusing. Do you put him at 82 or 95? But that's all right.
Yeah. Back to the raised stage in the spotlight. We got the pummeling position, chest to chest. Back out into space. 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Rojas reaching in, goes to the left, now to the right. Switches off to a double. Thompson, good job getting his feet back, but.
1 offered and 1 confirmed.
1 on the board for Rojas. He strikes first.
Both Braden Thompson and Manny Rojas super tough. Thompson has been doing a lot of winning lately. He was undefeated at junior duels, undefeated at NHSCA duels. Was 4th at 79 kilos at the junior trials. Only lost to NCAA athletes there.
So Rojas takes another shot. Nothing from Thompson. He's got a tight headlock. He's got the height advantage. Thompson shoots. Rojas, though, battles out of it. Back in the center. Both wrestlers still feeling each other out.
Absolutely.
No passivity warnings. I think that 1 step out kind of got rid of the need for one. I think they butted heads there. Speaking of passivity, there it is for Thompson.
And now they're signaling that's the first warning, the verbal warning for him. Some team race implications. Illinois has it locked up. Michigan still with some guys to go. And Manny Rojas could potentially help move Michigan into 2nd place with the win here.
Yeah, it's not over until the final bout. Michigan and Iowa both have a wrestler to go. Ben Kueter for Iowa. Michigan, you're looking at him right now. Pennsylvania, again, no finals, but 2 more in the consolations. They can still pick up some points. They got 111 right now. That may put it out of reach for either Michigan or Iowa at 3 and 4. Wisconsin could still win heavyweight. I think Chase Horne would be a very heavy favorite as the #1 seed going against an unranked guy.
Yeah, he would. And we're back to action. Trainer getting another look at a bloody ear, and short time left in the period. Just 1 point on the board for Rojas as we head into the break on that attack that ended up in a step out.
So we go to the break. Nick Simmons again, Saw Wrestling Academy, or Simmons Academy of Wrestling. Got that backwards. You got to get the acronym to fit.
Yes. SAW is a cool acronym. It's better than SWA, dude.
Yeah, that was an easy decision when they were, batting around names of their institution. Second period has begun. Just the 1 point lead. Thompson does have a passivity warning. Could go on the clock. Rojas
fight.
certainly being more active.
Definitely is. Rojas has been really dominant throughout this entire tournament. Technical superiority wins or falls all the way through. Braden Thompson putting him in a different kind of match than he's had this tournament. Wow, nice throw by.
Could have been a pancake, was just a throw by. No points yet. They're kicking out the elbows in the supporting positions, and that's 2 points, 3-0, 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the match. And we need the trainer again. Is it blood? It's on his back, so it's probably from somewhere else. You don't often see someone's back start bleeding.
No, that doesn't happen quite as often.
No. You gotta get some serious damage. Maybe somebody forgot to clip their fingernails.
So Manny Rojas, throughout this tournament, he won in the semis 15-5 by tech, 11-0 in the quarters, 10-0, 10-0, 11-0, and then a 13-second fall in the first round. So
13 seconds.
Giving up just 5 points.
That's not even a warm-up.
No.
For these guys, for me, I'd be winded. But
you would, yeah, you might be. I think you'd be pretty winded. I probably would too. Braden Thompson was only giving up 4 points, although his semifinal match against Luke Gogg was only a 4-2 victory, so he hasn't been quite as dominant, but neither of these guys giving up a lot of points.
Rojas trying to win title number 34 all-time.
For Michigan, not for himself, just to clarify. 2 minutes left in the match.
Yeah, he's immortal. He's been 17 forever. Another tidbit from Mr. Fargo, Jason Bryant.
How many of those Fargo titles for Michigan came for Mr. Brent Metcalf? Has to be.
That's another question for the Fargo almanacman. All right, 90 seconds remaining. Thompson certainly not out of it, but running out of time.
Yeah, hasn't found a lot of openings yet.
Yeah, and Rojas has been, using his offense to be the best defense, keeping Thompson at bay.
Really has been controlling center. A little duck attempt. Rojas not coming forward, not pushing enough.
Wow, and these guys going back and forth. Now Thompson with his best opportunity yet, down on a single leg, switches over, and he'll get 2.
Switching to a lace. He was in decent position on that gut wrench, maybe not super comfortable there. Now switching to a lace. Rojas fighting hands.
The lace is locked up.
Rojas slips it out. Rojas going to try to get on top for a point of his own.
And that's some power. He kicked out of that with some, malicious intent, perhaps. Not actual malicious intent, but, he was getting mean about it is what I'm trying to say.
The official tying his shoes. He may have to tape his laces. I think that's the rule.
That's a penalty.
Rojas' ear blew up.
The way they were banging heads in there, back and forth, no hesitation, just forward pressure. Not surprised. In fact, I'm kind of surprised there isn't more wounds opening up on either guy's head.
Jason Bryant comes through with the stat we asked for. Brent Metcalf had 3 junior men's freestyle titles, so not quite 10% of Michigan's 34.
It's like having a third member of the booth. I love it.
It's really amazing.
And also, we're not in a booth. We're just at a table.
We're at a table as evidenced by the fact that when Jordan Williams won his title, you could hear his fan section
you could just
who had invaded our table.
Not encouraging it. Would not recommend anyone else come join us at the table here. But, yeah, it is pretty wide open here.
Any point wins it for Thompson.
Yes. 30 seconds. Button heads again. Thompson trying to get it going. Rojas trying to square up. Checks him down. Thompson not stopping. Forward pressure, 15 seconds to go. Thompson gaining ground. Rojas trying to maintain the center. Snap down. Thompson falling into a shot. Throw by attempt by Rojas. 5 seconds to go. Limping arm out. That'll ice it. And will Rojas
comes up clutch.
Number 34 for the state of Michigan.
That underhook was Manny Rojas' best friend at the end of that match. He really used that to fend Braden Thompson off and then was able to finish the takedown at the end. Really
Number 4 at
outstanding.
182 and now down to 170. We believe he's going to be there all season long.
We're going to find out. I don't know what he's going to do all season long. We got to figure that out.
That's true. I mean, we'll have to ask Mr. Rojas himself. Now the owner of a nice octagonal accolade.
Octagonal accolades.
That's what I call them, stop signs.
And here's the replay. You see Braden Thompson and Manny Rojas.
They come to the mat so pristine and not yet sweated and bloodied up. And they leave embattled warriors. The first takedown. A takedown apiece. Well, I guess Manny technically had the second one at the end.
Both with octagonal accolades. One just a little bigger than the other one.
Yeah, one coaster-sized, one stop sign-sized.
Yes.
There it was. That was impressive work by Thompson, but there it is. Blowing the double kisses and a flex and a yelp.
Super 32 title and a Fargo title in a year. That's impressive.
Sure is. Not quite as impressive as 3 junior men's titles in freestyle like Brent Metcalf. All right, here's one I think everybody had circled.
Yeah, there were a lot of guys who could have come out of this bracket and really almost no matter who we are going to have an electric final. 182 pounds this year has had, in the current rankings, 8 of the top 9 are juniors who will be seniors. Only 1 graduating senior. This is a group who's been super solid all year.
Yeah.
And these 2 have emerged. TJ Stewart in the red, representing Maryland. He goes to Blair Academy. Brian Soldano in the blue from New Jersey. And
another Blairman.
clash of styles. Soldano with just a wild, wild style. You'll see him wrestle from double overs a lot. Super dangerous from a chest wrap. And guys end up on their back when they wrestle Brian Soldano. And sometimes he ends up on his back.
He is a Rutgers commit. TJ Stewart, we haven't gotten the final a commitment yet, correct?
Say that again?
Stewart is still uncommitted.
Stewart is still uncommitted, yes. He's a big recruit. Be curious to find out. He did put out a school list. Have that up on the site and go check it out. Another stat from Jason Bryant while we're getting some blood time. First time in state history that Michigan has won 3 junior men's freestyle stop signs in a single year.
That's an impressive accomplishment. Kudos to the Mitten State. As New Jersey and Maryland get after it here. Soldano in the blue for New Jersey. Stewart, black singlet, scoring for red, representing Maryland.
Snap attempt there from Stewart. Big underhook. Man, Soldano just loves to go big. You saw him trying to pull that head down.
Oh, well-timed double leg, but Stewart, man, that defense. It's like you can get on his hips, but then what?
Oh!
Going for the throw. He's going to get it.
4 offered. And
4 confirmed. I
4
saw
should
the
come up
paddle
on the
on the table chair.
Soldano normally the
Or
big
table
move
judge,
guy.
excuse me.
Soldano normally the big move guy. This time is TJ Stewart.
Stewart loaded up. He was going out of bounds. Soldano wanted the step out and got launched.
Stewart
Almost
looking
bellied
for-
out in time, but
Yeah. Stewart looking for his second stop sign. Verbal warning.
no interlocking fingers. That's a no-no.
These guys very familiar with each other. The top 10 at 182 wrestle each other a lot. Soldano won their last meeting. Stewart in a good position though here, up 4, 90 seconds in.
Yeah, it's a great way to start a bout. 4 big ones. That's going to help in criteria too. Soldano fires off another double, but too far out in space. Stewart stops him. 70 seconds remaining in the first period. Collar ties, center of the mat. about worthy of the big stage here. Stewart drops down on a single leg. He's got Soldano hopping in the air. Stewart starts walking him out of bounds, pushing him, driving him towards the photogs on the edge of the mat. They go down, but I think Soldano was just trying to protect himself from going in literally off the stage.
2 offered and confirmed, and
that's
may
tough.
Throwing a brick, it looks like they're not going to. Yeah, that's one that's going to be tough to get overturned, but you understand why Soldano.
Yeah, if you're Soldano, I mean, you don't want to give up the 2, but you also don't want to potentially have a career-ending injury when you go flying off a 4-foot stage.
Definitely not.
All right, moot point now, 30 seconds remaining. TJ Stewart, nice 6-point lead. He certainly earned those points, whether you agree with that last call or not.
Talked about how deep this weight class is. Current rankings, Soldano at 3, Stewart at 9. But like I said, that group is so tightly packed.
Yeah, and they're all going to see each other. But I mean, we had like a sorting out of the weight class with this bracket. Everybody thrown in there.
Most everybody.
Just about, yep.
We're at the break. Jack Waymeyer, number 2, not currently in this bracket. He beat TJ Stewart in the National Prep Finals. So he's earned that spot. But Stewart in good position to try to.
Yeah, Stewart wins this. He's going to have a lot of coaches pumped up. There's 6 in the running. Penn State, no surprise. Virginia Tech, we saw a couple of their recruits earlier today in the finals. UVA, staying in the Commonwealth. Ohio State and Michigan, 2 Big Ten schools, along with Penn State and Navy right there in his home state of Maryland. All great programs, and all would do well to earn the commitment of TJ Stewart.
Soldano picking up his footwork, and I know the Rutgers staff is excited to get him in the room. Stewart, wow, oh man, he got to that leg. He felt that overhook threat from Soldano. Put the leg back down.
Yeah, just went ahead and gave it up. He's got 6, no reason to get greedy.
Down 6 is, I mean, it's a big hole to climb out of, but Soldano is maybe more capable of big moves than anyone else in the finals at any
Tries
weight.
for a duck, goes over top. Stewart, good head position, just isn't giving up anything that Soldano can use to his advantage.
Cleared that position, that was smart. Soldano got a big 4-pointer to win in the quarterfinals over Clayton Whiting. 14 seconds left, so he's certainly capable of getting himself back in this match. He's got to get going, though, under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Soldano looking for an opening, but TJ Stewart just not giving him anything as he throws Soldano down to the mat. They go back into collar ties, and he's just head and hands defense, keeping Soldano at bay, so kudos to him for that. Staying in the center, too. Fake gets Stewart sprawling. And Soldano trying again at the edge of the mat. This is where Stewart's dangerous. We get a fleeing and 1 offered. It will be just 1 point, no caution. So a step out gets Soldano on the board, but with just over 60 seconds to go, he's going to need more than that.
Minute to go, and this is where he's super dangerous. Oh, but TJ Stewart slips the chest wrap. He's controlling that wrist. Man.
Soldano
see what I mean?
wanted to roll through. If he can get a leg lace, maybe he could get some turns.
He's got time to work. He's got 44.
So they're going to come up to their feet with just 41 seconds to go. 6-point lead for Stewart, like he had earlier. That's a lot to overcome. Clock counting down, 30 seconds to go.
Short time. You can hear TJ Stewart's dad, Soldano, in on a shot.
Oof, that was pretty, but Stewart kind of conceded. He just wanted to get in good defensive position in parterre.
14.
Soldano trying to get these laces together. Good job. Parterre defense by Stewart. 4-point lead, 10 seconds to go. Soldano jumped the gun a little bit. Clock took off a second. I think it's going to be immaterial. 5 seconds to go. Soldano shooting it again. Stewart maybe gives it up, maybe doesn't. Doesn't matter. That 4-point throw was enough to get it done. TJ Stewart. Here comes the rubber chicken. This cracked me up in freestyle, the cadet women's. I think it was Nebi Sarni won. Out goes the chicken.
So TJ Stewart avenges a loss to Soldano, and man, he is going to skyrocket up in the rankings. And I have a feeling our man JD Raider is going to give him a golden ticket.
We have another task for young Raider. TJ,
how are you, man? Giving us a fist pound.
Congrats. Respect all the way coming for you. He came over to make sure that we knew that he just won a stop sign.
And he's got that chicken up there in the photo. Good prop.
Yeah, he came to bump nuts, but he also had a message for us.
He said put some respect on his name. The respect is on his name. It's well earned.
Also, just a casual knuckle bump. I might have to ice my hand now. I'm not used to the kind of strength that guys like that bring.
I'll get you connected with the trainers, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. But yeah, you were saying, speaking of respect on his name.
Speaking of respect on his name, this man will be holding the golden ticket momentarily.
Oh, I saw a lot of photography flashes as that big 4-pointer. That's the one that did it. And JD might be the one to distribute an invitation to who's number one.
It's a good chance. I would say close to 100%, unless something drastic happens to JD between here and the other side of the building. But, you know,
let's hope he makes it across the Fargo Dome.
You talked about the camera flashes. I'm really excited to look through the photos of all the great photographers here who are going to, I'm sure, have some amazing shots of that toss.
Yeah. That was one of the highlights so far. I don't think we've had too many 4-pointers. One of them was we almost had one, and it was confirmed for 2.
So 195.
That one definitely counted.
Yes, it did. 195 is an all-Ohio battle in the red. Dylan Fishback of Aurora, Ohio. He's currently sitting at number 8. Seth Shumate, also of Ohio, number 5.
Yeah, how about that? Top 10 Ohio on Ohio action. Dublin and Aurora are the 2 towns. I'm going to do that thing where you look up how many miles away on what interstate.
Fishback committed to NC State. Shumate committed to Ohio State. So both these guys know where they're headed. And Ohio, like you said, they've cornered the market on a stop sign at this weight. One of them taking it home.
So Aurora in the Cleveland suburbs, Dublin out of Columbus. So a mere 140 miles on I-71 in Ohio. Separates these 2 rivals. There you have it, geography of the day. Now on to the wrestling at 195 pounds in the finals. Junior men's freestyle.
Got to call Shumate's semifinal. It was wild. He was up big on Colby Franklin. 9-0, ended up giving up a couple of turns, and that match ended in criteria. 10-10, Shumate came away the victor, and Fishback upset, or excuse me, he didn't upset.
Caden Rogers.
It was not an upset over Caden Rogers,
but it was
Caden Rogers.
It was 2 top 10 guys. I mean, this division was nothing but ranked dudes.
Yeah, this is another weight, kind of like 182, that was super loaded, and the rankings are going to get kind of sorted out at the end here.
Yeah, Fishback and Rogers was pretty tight, and then Fishback just kind of opened it up in the second period. I got to call that one. Very exciting.
Shot.
Yeah, Shumate in the red. He's been winning since his freshman year in high school.
He's got big move potential for sure. Hard slap.
That was it. It's not going to bother Fishback, but it was just kind of a nonchalant. All right, I'm going there. Ooh, blast double. Underhook caught him in time. So
Fishback, great jab, staying in bounds.
Yeah, and then wasn't able to be driven off the mat with that much power coming at you. Now they're coming right at us at the table, and Shumate gets his point. So, and then we have more blood. So this is what happened in the semifinals against Caden Rogers. Fishback had lots of cotton plugging up his nose. I don't know what the answer is. Cotton plugs don't seem to be the technology that we need to stop bloody noses in matches.
They don't stand the test of time.
But it seems to be the only option.
You know,
the only diagnosis. But
maybe we get a think tank going on that later.
I would like that.
But for now,
I would like to see that think tank funded.
For now, before we get in too deep into that grant proposal, we'll
write it up.
Action.
I'll fund it.
Just 3 weight classes left to contest: 195, 220, and of course 285, the heavyweights. So the team race is getting closer and closer to being secured. Just 3 matches left. Ohio sitting in 7th. That's where they're going to finish. Shumate in deep. Good shot.
Oh, yeah. Just rip through those head and hands defenses. You should get at least 1 there. I think he had a step out before they let action continue, but got the step out anyway. You see the pressure that Seth Shumate is able to apply. Unrelenting.
Yeah, he's so solid. Caution of 1 offered. Second time, so caution of 1 confirmed.
I don't know if that was a fake. I heard it from here. Kind of hard to fake a hand-on-face slap.
If you're the corner, you gotta say something, maybe.
Oh, of course. Look, coaches are going to do their coaching. But yeah, that was aggressive wrestling. I don't think Shumate wants to turn this into a slapping competition, but
I don't think so either. So 1 was offered on that step out, but White paddled, saying it was straight on pushing. And I mean, that has been a little bit of Shumate's strategy, being kind of a bully here. Here goes
Fishback. Great opportunity here. And he'll go 4, tumbling.
Offered. 5 offered,
5 confirmed.
Massive move. So Shumate had been the aggressor driving forward, but it's Fishback with a massive move, a ton of power.
I was not prepared for that. I did not see a big 5 coming, but the highest scoring move of the finals, courtesy of Dylan Fishback.
40 seconds to go. First period now.
And how about that turn of events? It was looking like it was going to be at least 3-1. Now it's 6-2 the other way.
Now Shumate has a whole bunch of ground to make up, and we're going to have to see him attack. He's been really using the hand fight and his aggressive style to chip away 1 point at a time, but now he trails by a whole bunch. Short time. Even a point would be big here for Shumate. I don't know if he's going to have time to get it. Does not have time, so 6-2 the lead for Fishback.
Yeah, great period. You know, the vast majority of those points coming courtesy of that great running double leg, feet to back in the air.
Yeah, flying leap. Another stat from Jason Bryant. This is the 7th time in junior men's freestyle that Ohio wrestlers have met head-to-head. They've, going back to 1979, had 6 others.
79, 87, 90, 2001, 03, and 08. You know, when you got 50 years of history and all of those stats at your fingertips, you come up with some great little factoids.
Yeah, that's good to know. Ohio.
The 50th junior men's freestyle.
Taking a look at, I think, that bloody nose.
More blood.
And you know what? Another argument for your think tank. That cotton swab didn't get it done.
We're falling behind in the battle for bloody nose plugs. In the technological race. It's an arms race, and you can't afford to fall behind. There's too much at stake.
Yeah.
Stoppages in the middle of wrestling matches is what's at stake.
That's the main thing.
We can all agree. That's a big deal. High stakes.
All right.
Also, it makes Mike Mal gag whenever he sees one of those plugs fall out.
Yeah.
And that messes up the whole broadcast.
6-2 headed into the second period. Fishback leads Shumate.
Good sweep single attack, but Fishback is prepared for him. Shumate unable to break through those defenses. Trails by 4.
Shumate kind of sitting back and waiting for Fishback to come. He's not really the aggressor, but this is a position he could maybe use. Nope.
Level change from Fishback. You know, both wrestlers had to think about what kind of adjustments to the game plan they have to make now. I don't think Shumate expected to be down 4. Fishback, if he expected to be up, still, you know, a different situation than at the beginning of the match. So
Plug is out, but Shumate gonna get a chance to work, or the official didn't see it.
Hand almost went on the plug.
2 minutes to go.
Yeah, under 2 minutes and still a 4-point deficit. Shumate.
Haven't seen a committed leg attack from Shumate.
Yeah, he's bent over. They're in the ear-to-ear position.
More blood.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we need a suture or something.
You can tell Fishback has had a long, grueling tournament, as many of these guys have. Obviously, the bloody nose, also a number of fingers that are taped.
Yeah, this is, and then, you know, who knows if they're going Greco, but there's a whole nother tournament for some of these guys in a couple days. They got to make weight all over again, and then it's back to warming up and wrestling.
Yeah. And NC State and Ohio State getting a couple of good ones out of the state of Ohio. Really.
Yeah,
impressive
Fishback
these guys have done.
Committed to NC State. Shumate committed to Ohio State.
Fishback has just been really outstanding over the recent months. Was 8-0 at junior duels. He won the Central Regional. He won an NHSCA title and was an Ohio State champ. Shumate also an Ohio State champ this year at another division. So these guys, kind of that battle for Ohio supremacy happening right here in the battle for national supremacy.
That's right. Well, it just shows, you know, Ohio's right there in that wrestling belt. New York over to Iowa, up in the Northeast and Midwest.
Shumate picking up his footwork a little bit.
And warned again. We had some hands to the face. I think that was both guys.
Both guys are warned. This time, Fishback is going to be verbally warned, so his leash a little shorter. Fishback doing such a good job with those level change drop down to a knee just to kind of change that stutter step motion that Shumate's trying to create. Now big underhook for Shumate.
Yeah, Shumate hasn't been working that underhook enough. And so fleeing the mat, caution in 1 is awarded. Both guys have cautions now. Minute and 10 to work for Shumate. He's got 3 points to make up, and he'll need more than 3 guaranteed now. Since either hits a 4-point or he hits more than that. He won't have criteria if he just has 3. Some combination of 1 and 2 points.
Here you see Fishback dropping to that knee again. Oh man, Shumate tries to run through it. Fishback can try to work from here. Switches to a single.
Good job finding those angles. And he wants to just hang out here on the legs.
Shumate trying to expose, was close. Didn't quite
Nothing
get
yet,
it.
and they're going to be grounded here. Unable to take him over. Shumate goes down. We're going to get a pin.
Fishback with the fall.
And there goes the brick, but Fishback takes advantage of the opportunity. There's 35 seconds left. Shumate was going for it, and you know, he was a little surprised that the fall was called. I don't think you can challenge a fall.
Yeah, I wonder if they're challenging something else. The official, I think, is just
Sammy Sasso in the corner, future teammate for Shumate. He's been doing a ton of coaching. He's coaching Pennsylvania kids. He's a Pennsylvania himself, Pennsylvanian. And there's the vanquished Shumate. Trying to get the hand raised. And there it is. Champion of Ohio, champion of the nation, Dylan Fishback, future Wolfpack. And he went through some gutty matches. I mean,
really
that
did.
one, there was blood everywhere. Not everywhere. He had a bloody nose several times. Like you said, but now his mouth is a little bloody there. Look at that. That's Wolfpack red.
Wolfpack red, and
His fingers are taped.
could be seeing gold from our friend JD Raider also.
Ooh, he could be getting a ticket to ride to Dallas in September. This is the big 5-pointer.
Gonna look at that.
Yeah, we're
one
gonna see it again. Whammo.
Boom.
That's a lot of LBs hitting the mat.
Yeah.
And then here's, I don't know if Shumate thought he was out of bounds. He just kind of laid there.
Yeah.
There was some confusion, but either way, Fishback took advantage, and there it is.
Gets it done. You know, Shumate really, he had to kind of take a risk for that exposure.
Yeah.
Getting out of position, but yeah, I mean, Fishback capitalized on the moment. Into the match. It's a dramatic way to celebrate, too, with a fall, getting up, and good work there from Fishback. And it's going to take us up to 220 pounds.
Another awesome matchup. 3 versus 11. Christian Carroll and Ben Kueter.
Carroll has been ranked at 195, but decided to move up, and he's staying up. So Carroll really outstanding. He has had no easy road to the finals here. He beat Noah Pettigrew in the semifinals. Pettigrew currently sitting at number 4. He also beat Bennett Tabor, Super 32 champ Bennett Tabor of Minnesota, who would be ranked ahead of Pettigrew, but he's been wrestling up at 285, so he's down at 220.
Carroll in the blue representing the state of Indiana. Future Fighting Illini in the red. Our final Iowan of these men's freestyle finals, Ben Kueter. Uncommitted as of right now.
He had an impressive 11-0 tech over Martin Cosgrove in the semifinals, did Kueter. And now with his toughest test of the tournament and Super 32 champ Christian Carroll.
Kueter with the height advantage, but Carroll, as you will notice, very stout build.
Nice shot there from Kueter. Carroll looks to expose him.
Oh, that was a smooth counter. Gets that chest wrap up and immediately whips it over.
Kueter tries to reach back. Carroll locks up this gut. He is so good from here.
And a final pop of the hips gives him 2. With the exposure takedown for 2, exposure for 2. Or I'm sorry, it was a chest wrap for 2. And then he fought his way on top and then got another exposure with the gut wrench. So 1 minute in and 4 points for Christian Carroll.
Christian Carroll, a fairly recent commit to Illinois, and he's in deep.
Grounded action, no score.
Mentioned Christian Carroll committed to Illinois, one of the top 5 recruits in the class of 2023. He and Kueter both just sophomores moving into their junior year.
Yeah. Well, Carroll was injured for his freshman year, and then COVID took out his sophomore year, so not a lot of zero time represent his high school on the map, but
his sophomore year, COVID didn't affect Indiana too much, but Carroll was not eligible to compete due to a transfer. So he,
good distinction there. Appreciate that correction.
Still missed out. Underhook for Carroll. Minute to go in the first.
Carroll firing off his shot. Kueter sprawls. Trying to use his longer frame to his advantage. Good scramble, but Carroll pops his head out the back. Gets 2 more. He's up 6 points. Now this is where he's dangerous. Another gut wrench. That makes it 8-0. They're out of bounds. I don't know if that, not one caution and fleeing was offered, but it was white paddled. So back to the center they go. Carroll 2 points away. Kueter dangerously close to giving up the tech.
Christian Carroll with a Super 32 title this year, trying to add a Fargo stop sign.
Low-level shot from Carroll.
Time runs out.
Yeah, no score there.
Carroll trying to make it 2 Fargo titles for Indiana commits, or excuse me, for Illinois commits.
Yeah.
Illinois commits. Ken and Webster won the first earlier today, and Carroll now in position to win one. He's up 8-0, but leads like that don't always hold. Bennett Tabor had an 8-0 lead on Christian Carroll himself. Carroll came back, got it done.
Yeah, you're never out of it. Freestyle rules really reward risk-taking and action.
Kueter certainly has the ability to put up points in bunches as well.
Yeah, tremendous athlete. His high school baseball team's in the playoffs right now. Iowa high school baseball goes on in the summer.
There it is.
And he won't be able to bring home a full-size octagonal accolade, because that's going to that guy right there with the big flex, Christian Carroll.
Huge flex. His flex photo from Super 32 is the most iconic, and now
we might be able to add to that collection.
I have a feeling he's adding to that collection. Puts the t-shirt on, the sweatshirt that is, and man, he's fired up. Big Fargo title for a big man, Christian Carroll.
Yeah, representing his faith, his country, his state, and his future college all in one right there with the stop sign.
Christian Carroll going to also momentarily be the recipient of a golden ticket. He's earned a spot at Who's Number One. If he wants it, he's going to be certainly one of the top 2 in the country.
Yeah, 220, there they are walking out. So kudos to earning that invite. Who's Number One, looking forward. That event just gets more and more fun every year. And these guys, hard to believe these are high school guys.
It is hard to believe.
As we watch some replays, it was all Christian Carroll, and there's the one that clinched it, the final 2.
There it is.
Let's go, he says. So somehow we've already gone through everything and made it to the finals. The final match of the finals.
I mean, man, these matches have been outstanding. They've been moving like crazy, and just one match left. Chase Horne of Georgia, he's going to be taking on Ben Kawczynski of Wisconsin.
We were talking about Georgia earlier. Caleb Henson got a victory, a stop sign, and a golden ticket today. Chase Horne, another Georgian, 13th pound for pound, a heavyweight. He was at Who's Number One last year.
Yeah, he was. He is currently ranked 1st in the country at heavyweight.
Team Wisconsin, that might be like the tightest knit team here. They do a lot of cheering.
It's in their DNA. Well, at least that's what it says on their singlets.
And there's Chase Horne.
Chase Horne in the blue, part of that strong Team Georgia core. They are looking for their 2nd stop sign of these junior freestyle finals.
All right, underway. Kawczynski in the red, Horne in the blue. Final bout underway. Foot sweep attempt by Horne. Give Kawczynski something else to think about.
Absolutely.
Snatching up a single leg. Almost cracked back. Now stepping up in the air. Horne, legs aren't long enough for that trip. Kawczynski's got a little bit of reach advantage on him. But that'll be good for 1. And sometimes that's all you need at a heavyweight bout. We'll see though. Horne, big snap. Front headlock.
Horne has been dominant throughout most of the tournament. Oh wow, there's a nice shot going off the edge, gonna get 1. Horne, his maybe most exciting, certainly most exciting match of the tournament came in the quarterfinals against Harley Andrews. those guys put so many points on the board. Horne was dealing with a leg cramp or something, but ended it with a fall after putting 23 points on the board between the two of them.
Yeah, Bart Harley-Andrews, bad boy of the tournament in a good way. And Horne battled through. Now Horne trying to avoid giving up a takedown, but how about Kawczynski with the crowd behind him?
Big takedown.
Guess the takedown leads by criteria. So number 1, Chase Horne, he's got something to think about now.
Kawczynski going to Wisconsin Lacrosse Division III, one of the really impressive Division III programs, and they're getting a good one for sure.
So whatever happens here, this is the first time Georgia has had 2 finalists in the junior men's freestyle division. Another factoid courtesy of Jason Bryant. Appreciate those, keeping us informed throughout the finals. Horne, though, doesn't just want an appearance, he wants 2. Dragging his toes, folk style, in the style of folk. But for continuation rules in freestyle, probably wouldn't have made a difference.
It's all right, he wrestles the style of the folks sometimes too. A nice shot on the edge.
Wow, counter shot, back and forth. Clash of the Titans going on right now, 4-4. Kawczynski with the criteria lead. This is how heavyweight bouts should be wrestled. Forget those 1-point low-scoring affairs. Chase Horne staying aggressive.
Kawczynski in his semi gave up the first point of the match. It took him a little while to get on the board, and then when he did, he had a big 4-pointer. Never looked back. Won by tech. Picked up steam throughout that one, trying to do the same thing here in the finals.
30 seconds remaining in the first period. Lots of action for these 2 heavies. Straight on double, and he's gonna score again. Kawczynski taking the match to number 1 ranked Chase Horne. Back up to their feet now with the lead outright.
Kawczynski with all the momentum too, not just getting the scores, but he's had probably the loudest fan base of anybody in this set of finals, and he seems like he's really feeling it.
If he can hold on and secure this upset, the Wisconsin fans are going to erupt there and split in sections 1 and 34 right across from us in the upper section.
Getting instruction there from Max Askren. Not bad to hear from an NCAA champ between sessions, between rounds. Of course, Chase Horne getting good instruction as well.
Yep, Team Wisconsin, the be-sandaled Wisconsin coaches, as is their style.
Second period underway. Kawczynski with the lead over number 1 Chase Horne.
Horne trying to get back on his offense. Regain the lead, reaching in for another single leg. Kawczynski using his reach advantage, times another double. Driving Chase Horne to the mat. Going right to the lace transition. He's got it locked up tight. Can he reposition? Loses the legs, but has gained a 4-point lead now for Chase Horne.
He's got this timing figured out right now.
Yeah, he knows when to change his level and when to fire one off.
Little blood and
cleaned up. Max Ashford sprints out there, wants
takes care of
the
that
momentum
himself.
to keep going, doesn't need a stoppage. Wants his wrestler
Horne
going after
hard
it.
with that snap. He wants to open him up, but Kawczynski's just been able to time it, finish those doubles.
Yeah, Kawczynski, you know, he's a guy who's been on the bubble, hasn't had the ranking in the tournament finishes that Chase Horne has had, and Chase Horne had to battle through a more credentialed side of the bracket. Maybe that has left him more fresh, or maybe he was just waiting for his moment to shine for Kawczynski.
Attack here on the edge. Another point for Kawczynski. He just doesn't stop.
He's still going. Smells blood in the water, has a 5-point lead, minute and 40 to go.
Kawczynski.
Time on the side of Kawczynski.
Continues
He's
to
still
move
taking
forward.
ground. And down on the edge of the mat, they award 2, but it'll be 1. And I think you need to be careful how much continuation to allow.
Yeah,
These heavyweights finishing a takedown, it could be disastrous.
it really could.
So
I mean, Kawczynski taking it to Horne. Now Chase Horne, the NC State commit, needs to pick up his action. There's an attention for finger fight. 72 seconds separate Ben Kawczynski from a Fargo stop sign.
and an upset of one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. I had to go through and really figure it out. We saw Nick Bouzakis go down. We saw a couple other, Cooper Flynn, Mason Gibson, and there.
He's got a trapped arm.
Ben Kawczynski Chase Horne down.
8-point lead, 45 to go. He's got a gut wrench lock. He's gonna try to finish it.
Wisconsin lacrosse, D3, stand up, getting yourselves a killer. Now we have 41 seconds to go, not trying to count any chickens yet, but this is looking more and more like Kawczynski's high school crowning achievement.
It really is.
30 seconds to go. Kawczynski holding ground right in the center. He doesn't need to do anything else for the rest of the match. Chase Horne looking for an advantage. Kawczynski fires off a shot. Horne knocked off his center. 10 seconds to go. Kawczynski staring down the #1 ranked heavyweight in the nation with an 8-point lead. That's it for Ben Kawczynski of Wisconsin. There goes the crowd. He gets it done. There's the stop sign. Team Georgia can only get one of their 2 finalists. It's still a record for the Peachtree State, but there's your champion.
Man, incredibly hard-fought win from Ben Kawczynski. I can't believe how good he looked all tournament long, and in the finals versus #1, takes him out.
Was losing. It looked like Chase Horne was going to get to his little snatch singles, running the pike, doing his thing, and Kawczynski just flipped a switch, said, that's not happening, this is my match, gets it done, and there is the victory. He's going to be hanging out with his friends. Let's watch a few replays, and then that's going to do it here in the Fargo Dome.
See the finish there on the edge for Kawczynski. Great work there.
It's a good shot. This is what I thought it was going to be, more of that from Chase Horne. And then, look, the Olay, this kind of took a lot of the steam and a lot of the wind out of Horne's sails. Timing those shots, falling down right in front of the table judge. That pretty much sealed the deal. Big Ben Kawczynski. And that's going to do it. The Fargo Dome is clearing out of men's freestylers. Their tournaments are over. 16U and juniors are done. Junior women are about to repopulate these mats. Their finals are tomorrow.